This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. Welcome inside the birdcage as we get you set for what seems like maybe even a new season, if you will. Such a long delay due to weather. At one point, safety concerns. We're back and ready to go for some more high school hoops here on Vermillion Tanagers Live inside the birdcage, along with my broadcast partner and producer this evening, Cole Larsch. Good evening. I'm Heath Nimke, and it's great to be back with you once again. It does seem like it has been so darn long since we last broadcasted a game. Now, take you back to our last time. We let our broadcast partners for Parkston take over. We did not spend the Friday evening with you, and then we got ready for what was going to be a very busy week when it came to high school hoops for both the Vermillion boys and the Vermillion girls. Then enter in a big weather system that moved through the area and pushed back Tuesday's games. And then on Thursday, what seemed like maybe we could get the games in, maybe not. It came to a cause of caution that put that game on postponement. And then when the girls had to play in the Hanson Classic on Saturday, blizzard warnings across the state also postponed that game. And again, it has been some time since these last teams for the Vermillion girls and for the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies, two teams that have certainly had to battle through it all when it comes to weather, are finally ready to go once again. Right now in the JV game, in a close game one at hand as well, 18-19, we have a very good matchup coming up for you on both the boys' side and the girls' side. A quick preview of the boys' side. Remember, this was an Elk Point Jefferson team that made it to the state tournament a year ago, but it has been a little bit different. A lot of great talent, a lot of senior talent, if you will, graduated from last year, and they haven't had that same great success that we saw a year ago. And on the girls' side, Vermillion comes in receiving votes now at 5-2 overall, losing against some of the greatest competition, T area here in the state, which is ranked number 2, and also against number 1 Crofton in the state of Nebraska. But you got to pause for a moment and look at this Elk Point Jefferson team. They aren't receiving media attention, but they do come into the game at 7-1 overall. So you may ask yourself, why are they not being featured as much as maybe the Vermillion Tanagers is? Well, it comes down to one factor. Is this a serious Elk Point Jefferson team? Now, if you ask Elk Point Jefferson fans, if you look at what they've done so far this season, you would have to say, yes, they are. But the question remains, have they faced the toughest of competition? In fact, the game tonight is going to be the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies girls' toughest game so far of the season, and certainly is going to be that measuring stick to see exactly where they are across the state of South Dakota. We'll break that down more with Jeff Newharth here in just a moment, the head coach of the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies, and talk about where they are so far this season and what they expect to see in this matchup tonight against the Vermillion Tanagers. That is on the way next here on Vermillion Tanagers Live and Live Ticket TV.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here is your spot with Live Ticket TV. With over 65 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you find the right market. Plus, you can work with me, Heath, and a portion of all sales made go right back to the school. Get a hold of me today and let's get started in helping build your brand with Live Ticket TV. There's no better organization that gives back to the student athletes than the Booster Club. The Vermillion Booster Club is committed to helping all student athletes grow. Join the Tanager faithful today by becoming a member at GoTanagers.com. While you're there, check out team apparel for your favorite sports team. Like them on Facebook to stay up to date on all the latest information and sports games. Join the Vermillion Boosters today and go Tanagers.
Give it off to Cisse, gliding to the basket. Out to three, Jay Hayes. Good. And Eric Glenn wants to stop the music.
Insurance rates are on the rise, and now more than ever, every penny counts. With me, John Brooks at DFS Insurance, we can look over your coverages and find the right insurance carrier to help you keep your costs down. At DFS Insurance, I'm an independent agent, which allows me to offer a variety of different carriers to fit your needs. When you're ready for your free, no obligation quote, give me a call, and we'll get you on the path to the best and most affordable insurance you need with Dakota Financial Services.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. So get ready for the fourth quarter in the JV game of girls high school hoops here inside the Birdcage. It's 24-20. Elk Point Jefferson leads it over the Vermillion Tanagers along with our producer, Cole Larsh. Good evening. I'm Heath Nimke, and it's great to have you along once again. Again, it seems like it has been so much time that has passed since we were last with one another. And just, of course, it's been 11 days since the Vermillion Tanagers last played in action, if you will. That was a doubleheader in Parkston, where both the Vermillion girls and the Vermillion boys did earn some victories, some hard-fought victories against the Parkston Trojans at the time. The Parkston girls undefeated, and the Trojans, so the Parkston boys Trojans, were also undefeated, but certainly two good wins for both the Vermillion Tanagers, and tonight is certainly expected to be a great matchup between the 7-1 Elk Point Jefferson Huskies taking on the 5-2 Vermillion girls, who are receiving just a couple of votes in the media polls. And let's get you more into this game before we get to our matchup, or I should say our conversation with head coach Jeff Newharth. And looking at this matchup, if you will, these two teams are very, very, very similar to what they are going to bring on the court, whether it's with their size or who they look to. The Elk Point Jefferson Huskies are very well balanced when it comes to their scoring so far this season, and they will have about two main girls who will come off the bench that they really like to go with. Otherwise, they keep things pretty minimal, if you will. And then even the size as well. Vermillion does boast the tallest girl with Brooke Jensen. Otherwise, it seems like size for size, these two teams are evenly matched. Now, you may remember it went down to the final seconds inside the Husky Den last year, where Vermillion was able to pull out the win against EPJ. And of course, that was the big come-out game as well for the Vermillion Tanagers and Taylor Roofers, who proved to be the, well, key piece to that victory for the Vermillion Tanagers in that victory. Both teams are averaging right around 55 points a game, and both teams giving up per game right around the 40 mark. And a couple of head-to-head opponents so far. Both teams have played Canton, where Vermillion got a 29-point victory to open up their season, whereas the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies won by 12. And also West Central. You may remember Vermillion had to pull away in the second and third quarter, including a 20-0 run. Vermillion beat West Central by 24, whereas the West Central Trojans lost to the Huskies by 15. Again, Elk Point Jefferson comes into this matchup 7-1. Their only loss against receiving votes, Sioux Falls Christian, 51-41. Otherwise, 7 victories. But again, they may not get a lot of look at so far this season because of one main factor. They have yet to beat a team that has a record of better than 2-6, including 3 victories over winless teams so far this season. So that is the question. Where are the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies at so far this season? And what do we expect in the matchup tonight? Well, to answer more of those questions and get you set for this game, we get into our first coaches conversation. That is Jeff Newharth of the Elk Point Jefferson Husky girls. I caught up with him yesterday during the day off to talk about his squad and where they are at. Here he is on our pregame show. It's head coach Jeff Newharth of the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies. Coach, as you get ready for the Vermillion Tanagers, big matchup here in the DAC-12 and the Region 4A coming up between Vermillion and EPJ. But I was able to talk to Coach Otkin earlier today, and I want to ask you the same type of question. When we look at Elk Point Jefferson in recent years, even this year, we see the success that EPJ is having in athletics. You look at the girls' side of things, volleyball has been extremely successful, and that leads into other sports. How much has the success of other sports led into the success of your girls' basketball team?
Well, I think, just like you've mentioned, I think success, kind of leads to success, just like you said. And then you have a lot of kids that are dual sport athletes. They're in all those sports, and they're very athletic. They're very dedicated to the sport that they're in, and I think that in itself just kind of leads to that success. And then they're very good leaders and help each other kind of pass the torch on when their time comes to be ready. So I think, and once you kind of see success, the work it takes to have that success. You kind of know the grind of a season and then what each season entails in order to reach the ultimate success as you get to the end of the season. But yeah, I think a lot of it is the caliber of student athletes that you're working with, their athleticism, their efforts that they put in as a whole collectively, and then just the success leading into success down the road as well.
Well, Coach, you look at your team with its success so far this season. Be honest with me, how much have you had luck this season, and how much do you know how intense your schedule is going to look? I mean, we look at 7-1 so far. It's been impressive, but maybe the media doesn't give you a lot of attention so far this season because your 7 wins are coming against teams that maybe haven't found even a win themselves. What do you think about the first 8 games of your season and how things have gone so far from your perspective?
Well, I think, in terms of, we're not going to slight anybody, certainly, that we've played to this point. I think they're all very good opponents in terms of they're putting the work in their gym, and they're grinding out, trying to be successful, trying to get better each day. And I think, you just play the teams that are on your schedule, and you have to come out and take care of business. I think we've done that. And I think we've had some very competitive games throughout the course where we've had runs, and we've learned some things along the way on how to handle those runs, and how to finish games, and how to come out on opponents where maybe, on paper you should come out and take care of business early. We've been able to do that. But I think all of our opponents, they're out there like everybody. They're working hard, trying to get better. And I think, we're fortunate to be where we are. And the kids have worked hard, but certainly not going to take away from any opponent that we played or where the end of the year might entail. Having said that, certainly the back half of our schedule is loaded with very good teams, record-wise right now, very good programs. So we kind of broke it up into quarters of the schedule, knowing that each quarter of the schedule or each fourth of the schedule maybe gets a little tougher than the quarter before in terms of what's wedged into that week. I don't necessarily mean tougher in terms of opponents only, or opponents in general, just a quick turnaround. Like for us this week, having now virtually had about a week off, which most teams are in the same boat, we play 3 games this week. So that's going to be a challenge by the time you get to Saturday, and all very good opponents along the way. So I think we look at it in terms of that way, that each quarter gets tougher with just what is going to be expected of us, both on the floor, off the floor, in the classroom, and those sorts of things. But to be 7-1, we've earned it. The girls have earned it, and we're happy where we're at. and we have to keep getting better as everybody is this time of year.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you, Coach, because people would say, hey, we're 7-1, but you're not playing that tough of opponents. Well, it's a mirrored schedule. You're playing what exactly is given to you, and you're taking care of business, and that's exactly what you need to do to prove that you are one of the top teams, and you've done exactly that so far. What has made this team 7-1? Where is this success coming from with the girls on your squad?
I just think our ability to share the ball. I mean, when we share the basketball, we're really tough to beat. The girls put in a lot of work this summer, shooting form, coming in early. So I think, I would commend them certainly on the success we're seeing now was done when, so to speak, the lights were off, nobody was watching in the summertime. I think that commitment leads to the success like we talked about earlier. And then just the ability to share the ball. We've had numerous different kids lead us in scoring. We've had kids step up, which is big. A lot of kids just think I only contribute if I'm scoring, and that's not the case. You're getting more and more, kids are starting to now understand that every stop is going to be a contribution. Every rebound I get, every deflection. I mean, those are things that, so to speak, don't glare out and stand out in a stat sheet, but those are things that good teams do, and great teams continue to do them when the opponent becomes, really good. So we're going to have to do all of those things on Tuesday going into Vermillion.
Well, when we look at Vermillion and I look at your squad, I see a lot of things that are similar. You look at the 5 that Vermillion has, you have that 5 to match them. And then the kind of couple role players that come off the bench for Vermillion, you match that as well. What are you looking in this matchup on the Vermillion side when it you see that similarity with your team, but what do you need to shut down with the Tanagers?
Well, you definitely have to be able to control Reavers. She's a good guard and a good initiator, gets them into their offense. Seems to always make the right decision. And then Brooke Jensen does a great job of getting shots, getting herself open, and then making the big shots. When you feel like they need a bucket, when you're watching Reavers to be able to create or Jensen to be able to knock one down. And then the Cleveland Twins, Boss, all those kids, they're all players that deserve respect, and you have to guard them. That's what makes them a complete team, and that's what we feel, that we are when we come to the gym, that we have 6, 7, 8 kids that when they're on the floor, you have to guard them. And that's what you work for, and then the game, kind of plays out with a lot of uncontrollables on both sides.
You talk about Taylor as well. She was the one that hit the game winner for you, or for the Vermillion Tanagers last year to beat you guys in Elk Point. Looking at this matchup, as we see Vermillion 5-2, they lost against some of the top teams here in the state of South Dakota and also in the state of Nebraska, and they're looking to continue to try to get back in that trend of their winning ways. You also talk about those 10 days off that both teams have faced, limited practice because of the weather. Do you think that plays a factor in Tuesday's game of having a little bit of rust in the opening quarters?
I think it might be a little bit, but we're the kids we're talking about on both teams, they're all kids that played a little bit of basketball, and they'll come out ready and just play basketball. So I think you might have a little bit. I don't know if you'll have, even if it comes out a little up, I don't want to say it's rust on either side. I think you're going to have a little bit of a point where each team's trying to feel each other out a little bit, and then go from there. But I think, we got in a good practice today. I'm sure, I can't speak for Vermillion. I'm sure they got in a practice today too. So I think both teams, been around the game a lot. You get in, you shoot a little bit, you find your timing again, and then you go from there. And I certainly don't want to say that, offensively, if both teams look a little unsettled, that it's not because of the defense. I think both teams are, I think we're good defensively. I think they're good defensively. So, I think right away it'll be a little bit of feeling out time. I think the conditioning might come into play a little bit. I think there's going to be a point in the game where you're just going to see some kids that's going to have to kind of reach down and gut it out because, you're not in that game shape. We felt like we were in pretty good shape going into this little off period, I guess. But, those things kind of come in until once it hits you, and then you kind of bust through it, then you'll be okay. So I think there'll be a time where you'll see a little bit of fatigue set in, and then the kids' adrenaline and competitivity, if that's a word, will push through, and you'll see, kids competing at the highest level.
It's going to be an exciting one. I think it's going to be a lot like we saw last year when it's going to go down to the final few seconds. You talked about it already. The back half of your schedule is very loaded with a lot of competitive teams. This is a DAC-12, a Region 4A game as well. How important is it to try to get this one inside the birdcage?
Well, very important. You don't want to put anything more on one game than the other. I think every one is important. This one is obviously a huge rivalry game, in the region. Seed points, all of those things are rolled into one. But you also, it's a huge win. But for either team, you don't want to walk away feeling like if you didn't get the win that's the season. You just have to get back at it. But it is, it is huge for us. It kind of ends, if we're able, you want to go in, play well. Fortunate enough to get the win, go in and play well, hopefully, nonetheless, and then walk away, kind of changing the narrative. Because we kind of talked about that too. The narrative is probably what you said by people outside of, our locker room and outside the community. So you want to change that narrative, if nothing else. Go in and compete hard and say that we've earned the right to be talked about in the top tier teams in the conference in the region. And the region is very good, and the conference is very good. So we're going to go in and compete hard, and hopefully walk away with a win.
Once again, that is head coach Jeff Newharth here on the broadcast as he ends the conversation there, talking about changing the narrative for his girls. Again, if you're just tuning in, the narrative is Elk Point Jefferson 7-1. It's an impressive start to this season, 8 games in, but they have not gotten a win against a team that has a record better of 2-6. Including they have beaten 3 teams that have still yet to find a win. So on simple paper, they have won the games they are supposed to win, and their only loss does come against receiving votes, Sioux Falls Christian. So is this a legit Huskies team, or are they just taking care of business like they're supposed to, and when it comes to good competition, they're maybe not quite up to snuff, if you will? Cole Larsh and I will break it down more within this region, as it is a region in DAC-12 game, before we get to head coach John Brooks. And as you hear from behind me, the buzzer goes off. It's final in the JV game. Vermillion hits a late 3 and free throws down the stretch. They get the victory over Elk Point Jefferson in the JV game, 35-30, which means our varsity game is coming up here in about 20 minutes time, and certainly expect it to be a good one. Cole Larsh is on the way next here on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live. Farming today requires constant adjustment, innovation, and the right seed, and you'll find that with Pioneer Seed at Dakota Seed and Services in Irene and Vermillion. With the most advanced technologies and local experts, Dakota Seed and Service share in your hard work on the farm, adapting to an ever-changing industry. When you need the right seed, protection, and service, make it Dakota Seed and Services in Irene and Vermillion.
Whether you are pregnant or planning ahead, you and your baby deserve a healthy start. We offer a wide range of services such as advocacy, health screenings and education, care coordination and car seat safety, participant empowerment, referral services, and fatherhood support. To learn more about Great Plains Healthy Start, visit greatplainstravelhealth.org or call one of our 5 service areas today. Brought to you by Great Plains Healthy Start, so that the people may live.
Nice.
Maytag appreciates a compliment, but this Maytag washer isn't just eye candy.
Wow.
Inside, it's got the capacity and power to handle even the mightiest loads.
I love this.
Yeah, she's a beaut.
It's a he.
How do you know?
Don't worry about it.
Find Maytag products and the industry's best appliances at your local dealer, Merce Appliance, downtown Vermillion. Since 1966, Louis Cleaning and Restoration has served the Vermillion and southeast South Dakota area with high-quality work and even higher quality customer service. At Vermillion's oldest cleaning and restoration company. They pride themselves on providing the best service with friendly, knowledgeable staff. They specialize in cleaning, offering extensive cleaning services with high-powered equipment at an affordable price. Check out their website for a full list of services they offer. And next time you need it clean, call Louie's Cleaning and Restoration.
Core Cares helps individuals stay at home by offering caregiving, nursing, and medical alert systems in over 55 communities in South Dakota. Specializing in tasks like bathing, meal prep, and medication setups, our well-trained staff delivers exceptional care. We invest in our team through customized training and comprehensive benefits. To learn more about job opportunities or services, visit our website at corecares.com. Core Cares, proudly serving our community.
Best Western Ramkota Hotel in Aberdeen is the place to stay for business or the weekend family getaway. You'll feel right at home with ample parking, spacious guest rooms, and complimentary breakfast. And with a convenient location, you'll have easy access to local attractions and events in the area. While staying at the Best Western Ramkota, guests can enjoy an indoor water play land, an on-site Minerva's restaurant, exercise facility, wedding services, and a business center. For friendly service and a great stay, make your reservation today.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
Birds like tanagers are great at flying out of the way to miss your car. Deer and other drivers are not. If you're in any kind of accident, bring your vehicle to Blaine's Body Shop in Vermillion. We repair your vehicle to pre-accident condition and handle the entire process from start to finish, including an accurate estimate and dealing with the insurance adjuster. So good luck to the tanagers, and if you're in an accident, bring your vehicle to
Blaine's Body Shop. Blaine's Body Shop. Automotive collision repair.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. Back inside the birdcage, it's great to have you along for some high school hoops. Once again, it's been 11 days since the Vermillion Tanagers were last in action for both the boys and the girls, but tonight it is a doubleheader of DAC 12 and Region 4A opponents, as it features the Vermillion Tanagers on the girls' side, 5-2 in receiving votes, versus the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies, who come in with no media attention, but a better record than Vermillion, 7-1 overall. Cole, it has been a conversation so far on our broadcast. Why isn't Elk Point Jefferson Huskies receiving votes, and where do they find themselves when it comes to this Region 4A? And of course, what kind of matchup should we expect for tonight?
Well, the biggest thing, I mean, you've said it quite a few times on this pregame show so far, is you look at their record, 0-7-1, but here's the teams they beat: a 3-4 Canton team, 0-6 Madison, 0-6 Parker. They lost to Sioux Falls Christian, who's 7-1. They beat a 2-6 Fiber Hurley team, 0-8 Irene Wakanda, 2-6 West Central, and 1-9 Del Rapids. And you look at that, well, it's really no fault of their own. It's just kind of unlucky almost that they've played this many, I don't want to say it, but bad teams, you might say. I mean, they just don't have a good record. And so that's what you look at right now. They're fifth in Region 4 with a 7-1 record, because when it comes down to it, they're just not getting as many seed points from all these wins. So that's kind of the biggest thing. Is that's also probably why there's not getting a lot of media attention. Once they start playing these better teams, especially when the Region 4 and DAC 12 schedule starts getting a little tougher for them, if they can start toughing out wins, even if they go 500 down the stretch here, they're going to be in a good place, playoffs, just based on seed points, and they're going to be getting quite a bit of media attention.
Something else to look at when we talk about this Region 4A: Lennox 7-1, T Area 8-1, Vermillion 5-2, Dakota Valley 7-3, Elk Point Jefferson 7-1, and even Beersford at 4-2. So out of the 8 teams, 6 of them with winning records. So very impressive what we have seen so far. Cole, before we get into our conversation with head coach John Brooks, just a quick conversation. I want to hit on it. After all the Christmas and New Year celebrations, we've got new media polls that have come out last week, and then, of course, just yesterday, Sisseton number 1 T area after a loss against a AA team, 8-1, number 2, and tied for second with Wagner, who is also 7-1, but has lost to a Class B team, so kind of interesting there. Flandreau 6-0, Red Cloud 9-0, Sioux Falls Christian, Vermillion, and Aberdeen Roncalli all receiving votes. Your thoughts, your takeaway on the media poll with those 8 teams?
Yeah, I think really quickly, I mean, it's a solid media poll. Should these 5 teams, these 5, 6, 7, 8 teams, be in the top 8 considering for a top 5? I think so. You know, me personally, now my bias has kind of shifted. It was always a little bit of a Region 5 in that area bias. Now it might be a little bit of a Region 4, Region 3, DAC 12 bias, but I just think based on strength of schedule, you almost have to put T up at number 1. I mean, they lost to the number 2 team in AA, Sioux Falls Jefferson, which Jefferson, they only lost 1 game against the best team in the state, O'Gorman. I mean, they didn't have a really good offensive night. I think they only scored like 18 points in that game, but that's beside the point. Just based on strength of schedule, I mean, you're going to look at T's schedule, almost half their games, if not more than half, are AA schools because they're getting ready for the jump. They're getting ready to go into the ESD. So I think just strength of schedule-wise, you have to put T number 1. Wagner, you know that you said a Class B loss, but that Class B team, number 2, Ethan, who is very good. I've gotten to watch them play. They're pretty talented. Overall, is it a solid media poll? Yes. Is there some things I've changed? Of course, yes. I mean, I'm always going to try and flip things around a little bit, but I think these are probably the 7 or 8 best teams in Class A.
And again, you have to remember as well, T does find themselves in second in the region because even though they are playing AA teams, they no longer get the power points. As head coach Adam Shoresman would say, it's the Adam Quayle rule there at Lennox. And because of that, Lennox does sit number 1 right now in the region. But it would certainly be interesting to see those 2 teams match up in the postseason, just to see how maybe much those coaches not despise each other, but maybe a little bit of love-hate, if you will.
And that just comes with playing each other a bunch of times throughout the course of the years.
And as you mentioned, next year we say, or at the end of the year I should say, we say goodbye to T, and I don't think anyone's going to really necessarily miss them too much, as they not only leave Class A, but they also leave the conference as well. They move to the ESD next year. Back into Vermillion girls action, head coach John Brooks is on the way next, talking about the 11-day layover these girls have had and what he expects to see from Elk Point Jefferson. That is on the way next here on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Jensen Kennels is your safe place to take your dog while you're away. They have over 7,000 square feet of indoor run space and outdoor play yards. They pride themselves in providing enrichment both mentally and physically for all types of dogs. And speaking of size, Jensen Kennels can host any size of dog, from the smallest Boston Terrier to the largest Great Dane. To find out the full services Jensen Kennels offers, check out their website and Facebook pages. Next time you need your dog to stay in a safe, fun environment, make it Jensen's Kennels.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs. There's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. Back inside the birdcage, it's time to get to our conversation with head coach John Brooks. What has this 11-day layover been like for his squad, and how does he get ready for an Elk Point Jefferson team that is very similar to his? I sat down with him earlier today and we talked on the phone about this matchup and, of course, a Region 4 DAC 12 game. Here he is on the pregame show. It's head coach John Brooks of the Vermillion Tanagers. Coach Brooks, as you get ready for the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies, let's go over what has been going on here in the past week and a half. It seems like we are getting ready for one game after another. It was going to be a very busy week for your team, but in the end, you play 0 games out of 3. Take us through for not only the coaching staff, but for the girls and what little practice you have been able to actually get in. What has this past week and a half entailed for the Vermillion girls?
Yeah, not very often you get all 3 games in a week canceled, and unfortunately that's what happened to us. So, we played Parkson on January 5th, Friday, and then we were off until, I think we got in the gym on Wednesday and had a practice, and then we were off all the way until yesterday. So we've had a practice in about a week and a half here, and then we get treated with a very, very good Elk Point team coming to our place tonight. So, obviously, it's been tough, not a lot of gym time, and it almost feels like you're starting over a little bit. But, Elk Point's in the same situation we are, and, both teams are kind of battling the same thing here.
I know there's been a lot of schedule moving around. Just looking at quick ahead, we do have another game coming up on Friday. We're going to reschedule that Mount Vernon game for the Hanson Classic at the Corn Palace, and then also playing on Saturday. That was already on the schedule against a Florence Henry team. But just a quick look ahead, those are 2 teams that you don't see year in and year out. How excited are you to be able to not only play those games, but also make up that game against MVP, an opponent you don't know?
Yeah, it's nice getting in. That's the point of those classics, is to get really good teams and from different parts of the state that you don't normally play. And, with not much practice time, we got a huge week ahead. We got Elk Point at 7-1 coming into our place. Mount Vernon Plankington, I think, is 5-1 right now. And Florence Henry's 8-1. So we have 3 big-time opponents this week. We're going to hit the ground running right away. And if we're not ready to play this week, it's going to, we're going to be in a tough spot. So it's little practice time that we've had. We have to step on the court and be ready to play this whole week.
All right, let's take us behind the scenes, this Elk Point Jefferson game, because, as you mentioned, 7-1. Wow, that's an impressive record. This is a really good Huskies team. And then for maybe people who don't dig deeper, or someone like me who does do a little bit deeper digging, it's like, 7-1, but you haven't really played anybody, including 3 of your wins are against teams that have not won a game, and they've been extremely down so far this season. What have you seen on film that they are a legit 7-1 team and that you have to take them seriously tonight?
Well, to start with, I think we beat them by 1 or 2 last year, and Elk Point brings back their whole roster from last year. They're starting 4 juniors and a sophomore this year, and those girls all started for them last year. And I think anybody around the area, around the region, before this season, Elk Point Jefferson was on a lot of people's radar to be a top team in our country, even in the state this year. They've been playing these kids since they've been 8th graders and freshmen, and they're just another year older and a year better. So they are, in my opinion, a top 10 team in the state. They're very, very talented. They have really good guards with Van Rokel and Schmidt. They have their 2 Brewer sisters in Colbaum. Ashley Brewer and Colbaum do a lot of work inside. They're big, they're tall, they're physical. It is a very balanced and very good basketball team. So it's going to be a battle tonight.
Well, you talk about the 2 Brewer sisters, you talk about their guard play. It seems that everything, when you look at Elk Point Jefferson, it reminds me a lot of one team, and that is the Vermillion Tanagers. How much do you see the similarities and what Elk Point Jefferson has with their squad with your squad?
Yeah, we're very similar. Both teams are very balanced. Not one kid that's going to just go out and try to take over the game. They're going to use everybody in their offense, and we're going to do the same. And we kind of told our girls that, there's nothing tricky about this game. Neither team does anything that's, kind of crazy or anything like that. It's just 2 teams that are going to get up and down and try to execute their stuff, and whichever team plays better is going to win. So we got to defend and rebound early. You don't know how well you're going to shoot it with as many days off as we've had, so we got to really be focused in there. And hopefully being on our home court, eventually the shots start going in.
Something we talked about last year, and I think in girls basketball, we talk about this point a lot. If we can get to 60 points in a basketball game, you have a really good chance at winning. So far this season, it means a lot of games you've gotten close to that mark, but you haven't quite maybe found the offensive consistency that we saw a year ago. Now, injuries certainly have plagued what that means for this squad, but how much is that a focus to continue to build, to try to get to that mark and find a little bit more consistent scoring when it comes to easy buckets inside at the rim?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, like you said, with obviously losing, the seniors, and then you try to replace those kids, and then, obviously the few injuries, I think our girls are still trying to kind of find themselves offensively. But that's something we put a big emphasis on moving forward. Is we really do want to focus on our offense, and we're right there. We're scoring the ball pretty good, but not good enough, and a lot of it comes down to bunnies inside and free throws, and that's something that we've really been focusing on with the girls. Is if we can finish inside, if we can finish our layups, if we can step up to the free throw line and convert on the free throw line, that's gonna add 8 to 10 points a game for us, and that's what we're missing right now. So. Hopefully that can get going here for us in the second half of the season, and that will help our offense look better.
You mentioned the second half of the season. I'll just even break it down to this week with 3 games, and again, coming up on Friday and Saturday, so back-to-back games. How important for this game, of course, to win, but to make it a statement win, to make it a convincing win, to give these girls confidence heading into the rest of the week and going down into the stretch into February?
I think anytime with Elk Point, it's a big game because it's a region game and a conference game, and those are games that you want to win. They're going to have a big impact on seeding late in the season. So, we want to play well, and but ultimately the goal is to get the win at the end of the day. So hopefully, there in the fourth quarter, we're in that spot where we can get a win. Hopefully, we have a good crowd here tonight to help us out, and we want to get the week started off right. So, a big game for us here tonight.
Yeah, get the week started off right is exactly right for head coach John Brooks. Again, it's been very, very confusing with everything that has been going on. And of course, head coach John Brooks is extremely upset with Saturday and what has happened there. That game has been moved back an hour, which now means he's going to miss the San Francisco 49ers football game, which does not make John Brooks a happy man. But game tonight, game on Friday, and a game on Saturday for the Vermillion girls. Our matchup between Vermillion and Elk Point Jefferson and our doubleheader, Girls First, is coming up after this national anthem here on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live.
If you are self-motivated, accountable, and eager to learn new skills, we'd love to talk to you about a rock star career. Masaba in Vermillion is hiring full and part-time manufacturing positions for the rock industry. Masaba provides comprehensive training in a clean, safe, and state-of-the-art facility. Masaba offers competitive wages, a fun and interesting work environment and culture. Join our team of rock stars. Visit masabainc.com to learn more.
Producers, now's a great time to get your seed meters inspected so you're ready for spring planting. Right now, Grossenberg Implement, your John Deere dealer with 9 locations in South Dakota, Nebraska, and Wyoming, is offering $25 labor per row all month long. Contact one of Grossenberg Implement's service managers and schedule your planter seed meter inspection so it's ready for spring. Grossenberg Implement, where service is the other half of a great product. Go to grossenberg.com for details.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. Tonight is a measuring stick for the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies. Are they a team that's for real, or they have just gotten lucky so far with the way their schedule has panned out according to the Murier schedule as well? Again, Elk Point Jefferson Huskies come into tonight 7-1 overall. They have not received any media attention, and that is strictly because the Huskies have not beaten a team that is even close to a winning record. In fact, they have beaten 3 teams without a win so far this season, and no team better with a 2-6 record overall. but tonight could certainly be a big matchup. A year ago, they squeaked out a 2-point victory, the Vermillion girls did, in the Husky Den, and we are expecting another close game here inside the birdcage. Of course, the Vermillion girls come in 5-2 overall and receiving votes, and they're looking to get a big DAC 12 Region 4A victory over the Huskies. And certainly going to be an exciting one coming up in game number 2 of the boys. Vermillion coming in 6-1 overall. Some people out there have even said they could top the conference in the DAC 12. That might be a little bit of an exaggeration. Jay Drake did laugh when I mentioned that to him at one point, but certainly going to be a very interesting matchup as the Huskies in that game come in 4-6 overall. All right, let's meet our teams. We'll begin with the visitors, the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies, again 7-1 overall, 2-0 within the region, and they are in fact 4-1 already in the DAC 12. Their starting 5 will be number 1, Caitlin Van Rokel, the 5'3 junior guard, number 4, Ashley Brewer, the 5'10 junior forward, number 5, Sierra Schmitz, the 5'5 sophomore guard, number 14, Bentley Kolbaum, 5'11 junior forward, and finally, number 32, Courtney Brewer, 5'5 junior guard. Again, very, very similar between these teams, including sisters. I mean, that's how close these two teams are when it comes to looking at the size and even the last names, if you will. All right, let's meet our Vermillion Tanagers. Again, 5-2 overall, receiving votes. According to the media, they are 1-1 within the Region 4 and 3-1 in the DAC 12. Now, the starting 5 does not change. They've had the same starting 5 all season long. That does include number 11, Taylor Rivers, the 5'3", 8th grade guard, who again came out with the victory last year, hitting key free throws down the stretch for the Vermillion Tanagers in last year's matchup. Otherwise, it also includes number 21, Brooklyn Voss, the 5'11 senior guard, number 22, Janaea Cleveland, the 5'8 senior guard, number 25, her twin sister, Chandler Cleveland, the 5'9 senior guard, and finally, number 33, Brooke Jensen, the 6'1 junior guard, and the commit to Augustana University to play basketball after her high school career is over with. Again, it's exciting to be back with you once again. Both these teams have had a long delay because of the weather, and both teams have not really been able to practice. In fact, you look at this game coming into it, both teams have had less than 3 practices over the past 2 weeks. That's how little practice they've been able to get in because of the weather. Here we go, along with my producer and color man, Cole Larsh. I'm Heath Nimke. Jay Drake, the head coach of the Vermillion boys, right behind us. We're set and ready to go for a fun matchup in the birdcage. The Tanagers in their all-white uniforms, numbers and letters that are in red, outlined by black. The Huskies in their pitch black uniforms, numbers that are in blue, outlined with white. We meet at the Tanager logo. Bentley Kolbaum, Brooklyn Voss, the opening tap is won by the Tanagers, and we are underway in this DAC 12 Region 4A matchup. Can the Vermillion Tanagers or the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies get off to a quick start? Again, when it comes to scoring and defensively, both teams have very similar stats so far this season. Vermillion gets it down underneath and right at the rim. Chandler Cleveland is able to finish it off right away, and now we're going to see the press by the Vermillion Tanagers to make the Huskies try to break, which they're able to do so with Caitlin Van Rokel, the 5'3 junior guard who's guarded by Chandler Cleveland. We'll look kind of at the matchups here when it comes to size-wise, as it'll be Sierra Schmitz, the 5'5 sophomore guard, who will go up against Rivers. Vermillion coming out in man-to-man defense so far. 8 seconds on the shot clock as Elk Point Jefferson tries to force something underneath. It's too high, goes out of bounds. Cool. Defensively, for the first, 28 seconds there, what'd you see from Vermillion that you liked?
Well, really not a whole lot special. I mean, they came out in a little bit of a 1-2-1 or a 2-2-1 zone press to start out, try and get Elk Point Jefferson a little bit sped up, maybe a half-court trap, but then just backed into man coverage and just played really solid defense all around.
Brooke Jensen misses one right there at the rim. Again, that's something that Vermillion and head coach John Brooks really wants to eliminate, is starting to get better shots when they have those kind of not open looks necessarily, but at least looks at the rim. And now a foul as Rivers tries to play some defense, picking up the first team foul. The first personal foul, of course, that's always a conversation as well, staying out of foul trouble. And that'll be a conversation for both these teams. As shooting the free throw is Caitlin Van Rokel, hits her first. Again, both teams kind of go too deep into their bench. Not a whole lot more. Elk Point Jefferson bench play, though, has certainly got plenty more minutes because of their blowout victories they've had so far this season. Second missed free throw. Here comes Vermillion quickly the opposite way. Quick jumper by Voss is off the mark. It's 2-1, 6:32 first quarter. Elk Point Jefferson Huskies quickly inside the lane. Count the bucket and a foul as Brooke Jensen commits the crime, picking up her first, and it's going to be an and one opportunity for Bentley Kolbaum, who gets her first points of the evening. So again, shooting the and one opportunity and first lead for Elk Point Jefferson, 3-2. Free throw is up, and this one is good as Kolbaum completes the old-fashioned three-point play. 6:25 first quarter, Vermillion into the front court. Again, the girls are going to be off Thursday before they have a game on Friday and Saturday in the Corn Palace and then in Irene, Wakanda for a classic. Missed shot once again, but a quick turnover by the Huskies gives it right back to Vermillion in the backcourt. It's Ruver, squares up, straightaway three, off the front of the iron, kisses the glass and back in. Ruver's her first points of the basketball game, and Vermillion now leads it by 1, 5-4, 5:52 first quarter. And Ruver's had to put some oomph just to get the ball there, but able to sink it in the end. And now a quick turnover from 5-3. She jumps up high to get that one, still controls. Kicks back out now to Brooke Jensen. Back over to Ruvers inside. And just turn around, Cleveland puts it too strong. It's going to go out of bounds. They say last touch by Brooklyn Voss. And it will be Husky basketball. 5-4, 5:32 first quarter. Cole, a little over 2 minutes in. First initial thoughts on the game so far.
Well, so far from what I've been seeing, it's going to be a pretty quick game. Both teams, it's just going to come down to whoever can quit fouling the most, mainly on the Vermillion end, because they don't go very deep, as well as, like you said, EPJ, and whoever is able to just break the press and sometimes slow it down on the offensive end, try and get some control.
5-4, 5:23 first quarter. Again, these two teams saw each other during the regular season and went down to the final few seconds. It was actually the closest game the Vermillion Tanagers played all season long, besides their only loss to Hamlin. That was in the DAC-12 NEC clash, you may remember, a year ago. Down to 3 seconds. Van Rokel just going to try to force something. The shot never got off in time, and we do see the shot clock violation. It was blocked partially the way through by Brooke Jensen, but instead the officials will call for a shot clock violation, and it will give it to the Vermillion Tanagers. Van Rokel went underneath the hoop with the ball and then tried to kick it out to Kolbaum at the last second, but in the end, again, the 35 seconds runs out. Inside to Cleveland as they quickly kick it around to Brooke Jensen. Three-pointers off the mark. Oof. And that was Chandler Cleveland just too far ahead of herself, jumped too early, and missed the basketball. No one boxed her out, and she was wide open for an easy rebound, just missing. Quickly the opposite way, in transition, Sierra Schmitz off the glass for her first points. And the Huskies take back a 1-point lead. They've never had bigger than this 1-point lead. Right now, 6-5. Voss, no look pass to the top, deep three, and this one off the mark for Rufers. It did hit the front of the iron once again. 6-5, 4:08 first quarter, sprinting into the front court. Bounce pass to Kolbaum, who has it at the free throw line, picks up her dribble and works it to the wing as it goes to Ashley Brewer. Back to the near side. Van Rokel holding it above her head, wants to go underneath, and they're able to do so. Then losing the basketball is Bentley Kolbaum, and finally, Janaea Cleveland picks it up. Ruvers quickly attacking the press of the Huskies, kicks it back out to Janaea, and they'll reset offensively. 26 seconds on the shot clock. Ruvers bounce pass to Chandler Cleveland. Chandler Cleveland will just drive in, and there was contact all the way. It was pity-patty stuff, but in the end, it will be a foul that will go against Courtney Brewer, picking up her first personal and the first team foul as well. 6-5. And now we'll see the substitutions first made by Coach Jeff Newharth, as it'll be Hannah Neerman and also Grace Peed, the two seniors who will check in. The quick inbound and score as no one stopped Brooke Jensen from getting the open look, her first points of the evening. And Vermillion takes back a 1-point lead, 7-6, 3:23 first quarter. Quickly, it's tossed underneath the hoop and missed out. Looked like Brooke Jensen might have gotten a hand in there to get a partial block. Quick end-to-end action for the Vermillion Tanagers as they're in the front court underneath the hoop, back out to Janaea Cleveland. Her foot was on the line, but the nearest official does say it was a 3, and Janaea Cleveland gets her first points of the ball game, and Vermillion takes their biggest lead as well, 10-6, 2:55 first quarter. Now, her foot was only on the line, according to me. Others may speculate. Trying to get it down inside the lane. Ball is tipped around, still controlled with the Huskies. Back out, and a shot is up and good. This time for Ashley Brewer, her first points, 10-8, 2:37 first quarter. Roovers will slowly bring it across the Tanager logo as Vermillion holds on to a 2-point lead. All Tanagers for the starting 5 have scored except for Brooklyn Voss so far here in this first quarter. Janaea Cleveland, the rainbow pass to the near wing. Roovers drives in, kicks back out to Janaea, and he'll go all the way to the top of Brooke Jensen. Kick back out to Roovers with 8 seconds on the shot clock. To Janaea, back to Roovers, now to Brooke Jensen. She'll shoot the 3, and this one is off the front of the iron and easily rebounded by Sierra Schmitz, who quickly sprints in the front court. Over to the wing, they work it. Van Rokel shoots the 3. This one off the mark, and here comes Janaea Cleveland with the track speed that she does have, including holding a couple records here for Vermillion in track. When it comes to the 4x1, bounce pass underneath to Brooklyn Voss, who almost lost it out of bounds. Back inside the lane they go to Chandler Cleveland. She tries to go through the trees. It goes out of bounds. Last touched by the Huskies, but the officials say it was last touched by Chandler Cleveland. No way it could have been if her shot was blocked partially through. 10-8, 1:42 remaining in this first quarter. Vermillion does bring on Barter for the first time. It's their only substitution as the Huskies go back into a few of their starters back out there for just a quick breather. Missed shot, ball rolling around, picked up by Brewer. Now over to Kolbaum. Back to the top, they work it with Courtney Brewer. Over to the far corner, driving in. Schmitz had a look, put it up in a haste there, and misses it too strong off the glass. Opposite way come the Tanagers with Janaea Cleveland. Inside they go and back out to the wing. Vermillion trying to find some space against this zone defense of the Huskies. Still leading it by 2. Inside to Brooke Jensen. She wants to try to force something inside. Can't back out. Straight away 3. Good! Taylor Roovers hits her second 3 of the first quarter. And it's now up to a 5-point lead and now a quick whistle. And this is because the shot clock has been disconnected. As we're looking around, someone's saying plug it back in, or maybe this or that. There's a long conversation. No, they're saying we're just resetting it. And that's all. It's going to work as soon as we go. And the official says, my bad, didn't know that.
I'm surprised that hasn't happened more this year when officials look up and they see a blank shot clock.
We're good to go. And just like that, see, the ball gets tossed and the shot clock turns back on, which Cole, again, the official just was not aware of that. He actually thought something had happened to it. So we don't need to plug anything back in. We're back underway with a 5-point lead for the Vermillion Tanagers. Van Rokel does have it. Right-handed dribble. Bounce pass inside to Kolbaum. No, excuse me, that's Peed who had it. And she's going to travel, and it'll give it right back to Vermillion. Cole right now, 13 points so far in this first quarter. Vermillion can hold for the last second shot if they get to 15. That's a quarter of the way to 60. If you can score 60 for girls basketball, good chance you can win a game.
Yeah, usually that's kind of the number you look at, and when you say, oh, we scored 60 points this game, usually you can say about 85% of the time you've probably won the game, depending on how good your defense is.
That's exactly what the Vermillion Tanagers and Roovers are doing, just bleeding out this clock. They will take this last second opportunity as Roovers is calling for a screen. Still Roovers with 6 seconds out to Janaea Cleveland. She'll shoot the 3, trying to get off the glass. It's off the mark, and we're going to say a double dribble before we had the last-second shot, and the whistle came so quick and at the scorer's table quickly on it as well that they did stop with .2. This will be a catch and shoot, or as we're going to see here to end this first quarter, just a simple inbound.
Yeah, I don't think you can get a tip in 0.2 seconds. I think it has to be 0.3 or more.
Wasn't too worried about it in the end as we hear the buzzer. 13-8. We move to quarter number 2. Vermillion with a 5-point lead. We're back in just a moment here on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live.
For healthier crops and stronger yields, count on Nutrien Ag Solutions. By partnering with the leader in plant nutrition, you'll have access to innovative products and unmatched service that deliver impact and efficiency to every acre. Healthier crops, happier growers. Lead the field this season and beyond. Find your local crop consultant at nutrienagsolutions.com.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. Tanager fans, don't forget about the Vermillion Baseball Association having their chili and wild game feed fundraiser. That's coming up on Sunday, February 4th from 3 to 8 at the Charcoal Lounge here in Vermillion. It's $20 a ticket, which does include 2 drink tickets. It's going to be fresh walleye and chislik from 4 to 6. There's also kids' meals available as well for $5. You can purchase your tickets at the door the day of the event. Again, that comes up on Sunday, February 4th from 3 to 8 at the Charcoal Lounge in Vermillion. 13-8 as we head to quarter number 2. Cole Larsh.
They also have a Super Bowl square 50-50 raffle at Bunyan's.
Cole, you do know as well I'm not a betting man, so I probably will not be partaking in that.
Well, I put in $20 for you then. Let's call it that way.
And I might be lying there a little bit. Inside, as we're back underway, Colbaum had maybe a good look there, but could not cash it in. It's a 5-point lead for the Vermillion Tanagers. Again, this is a really big measuring game, if you will, for the Elk Point Jefferson Husky girls, who come in 7-1 overall, but they have not beaten a team with a record of better than 2-6 so far this season. Janaea Cleveland just steps around her defender with the Euro step and is count the bucket. She now has 5 points here in the ball game, 15-8. It's a 7-point lead now here for the Vermillion Tanagers. Can they expand on this? Kick out 3 for Schmitz, and this one is good. Sierra Schmitz pulls the Huskies right back into it, down by 4. As this one comes into the front court. And Cole, we have seen at times so far this season, Vermillion has struggled to score in the second quarter.
Yeah, it's just kind of come in streaks. I mean, I don't know if it's just something that they're not quite as fast getting out of the quarter break, but usually, like you said, they sometimes struggle in the second quarter. Let's hope it doesn't happen this time because EPJ can tell they're getting hot.
15-11, 6:40 second quarter. Again, if you're just tuning in, hit another 3 by Sierra Schmitz. I was going to say, we started this one a little ahead of schedule, which we always usually do here in the Birdcage. But Cole, as you mentioned, getting hot. Sierra Schmitz hits back-to-back 3s for the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies. And all of a sudden, they're within 1 after it was a 7-point game there. Brooklyn Voss drives in, is able to connect. It's her first points of the ball game, and now all starters have scored for Vermillion. A corner 3, oh my goodness! Back-to-back-to-back 3s for the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies. We're tied 17-17. And quickly, the opposite way, Van Rokel has it. And Janaea Cleveland draws the foul. And 1 opportunity coming up for Caitlin Van Rokel, as she now has 3 points in the ball game. Wowzers. As the Huskies have just blown the second quarter doors wide open. And the free throw is up and good. So 3 threes, and now the old-fashioned 3-point play, 4 possession, 12 points for the Huskies here to start the second quarter, and they now have a 3-point lead. And Janaea Cleveland goes up tough, is fouled by Colbaum, and then insult to injury, runs into her twin sister. There might have been a little bit of a glare as well. 5:42, second quarter. 2 free throws upcoming for Janaea Cleveland. First free throw is off the heel of the iron. second free throw here in just a moment. Janaea Cleveland so far, 5 points in the basketball game. She is 1 point behind the leading scorer, now tied for leading scorer with Taylor Rufers, who has hit 2 threes in the first quarter. Vermillion within 2, 20-18. We expect this one to be tight no matter what Oak Point Jefferson has done this season or the opponents they have beat. They are a serious team, and of course it's always a big matchup between these two teams, and it's of course DAC 12 and Region 4A hoops. Sierra Schmitz kicks out to Van Rokel. Van Rokel guarded closely by Janaea Cleveland. Van Rokel drives in, had her shot partially deflected, and quickly the opposite way come the Tanagers. Brooke Jensen, turnaround jumper, and is going to be called for the travel. Cole, we don't see it as much in girls hoops, but it's the spin play is what the travel is called.
Yep, again, said this a couple times in past games, but it is a point of emphasis for referees this year is that spin move and making sure they differentiate a travel or not. We're going to see it called more often because that is what the referees are graded on most heavily, is how much or how well they call the point of emphasis.
Now when it comes to coaches as well, one of the greatest coaches to argue that point is right behind us. Jay Drake will certainly tell any official that he doesn't agree with the call, whether it's a travel or not. A quick foul here by the Vermillion Tanagers as they now pick up their second here of the quarter. This will be called against Chandler Cleveland, picking up her first. Again, the other one was against Janaea Cleveland with the old-fashioned three-point play that was completed within this quarter. So 4 different fouls on the Tanagers. 4 different individuals have picked up fouls. So technically no one in foul trouble so far for Vermillion. Still a 2-point lead for Elk Point Jefferson, 20-18, 4:30, and a ball underneath right on the baseline that is turned over by the Huskies. And here comes Vermillion quickly the opposite way. A pass to Voss that was stolen away. Ball passed and then tipped. Loose ball by Sierra Schmitz as she fumbled it away, going too quickly. And Vermillion will have it in the front court as they reset and slow things down for just a moment. And now Voss will just pull up and shoot the 3. This one's off the mark. Sierra Schmitz will attack as there's an advantage out to Van Rokel. Ooh, her shot was blocked by Voss, who came streaking in. And quickly the opposite way. It was Ruvers up to Voss, and then a double dribble. Voss had to take that pass and just go up with it through the contact, and she probably would have drawn something. In the end, timeout by head coach John Brooks. It's 20-18, 3:52 remaining before halftime. We're back in just a moment here on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live.
Whether you are pregnant or planning ahead, you and your baby deserve a healthy start. We offer a wide range of services such as advocacy, health screenings and education, care coordination and car seat safety, participant empowerment, referral services, and fatherhood support. To learn more about Great Plains Healthy Start, visit greatplainstravelhealth.org or call one of our 5 service areas today. Brought to you by Great Plains Healthy Start, so that the people may live.
Farmers know crop insurance is essential for managing risk. It's also valuable for maximizing revenue. The crop insurance officers at Farm Credit Services of America have proprietary tools and expertise to deliver the personalized crop and revenue protection you need for the peace of mind you want. Nobody delivers crop insurance like this. Discover the difference by calling 800-884-FARM. Agriculture works here.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. Back into action here, 3:35, second quarter. It's a 2-point lead for the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies, along with our producer Cole Larsch. I'm Heath Nimke, and a quick jumper, and this one is good for Grace Peed and for both Vermillion and Elk Point Jefferson. There's the first bench points that we have seen of the evening. Of course, now both teams don't really go that deep into their bench. Rivers over to Janaea Cleveland. Down to Voss, down to Chandler Cleveland, wide open. Reverse layup. I don't know what she was thinking. She had plenty of room and just said, hey, I've been practicing this shot. Horse, calling my shot. Now, I'm not judging Cole. I definitely couldn't have made that shot myself. Straight out, three-pointer. This one is off the mark and rebounded by Chandler Cleveland. Rivers kicks over to Voss. Wide open jumper for her. Good. Vermillion back-to-back buckets. And we are tied 22 apiece with 2:33 remaining before halftime. So the timeout from head coach John Brooks has worked for back-to-back buckets for Vermillion. Trying to work something down to Pete, and now Voss comes out of nowhere to steal it away. And Vermillion will enter into the front court to Chandler Cleveland as she catches, back out. No look pass by Voss. She's really made that platinum through her career. Out to Jensen, who will shoot the three. This one short, but an easy rebound in Chandler Cleveland. Just like in a hockey, picking up the trash in front and collecting on it. 24-22. 1:52 second quarter. And now a timeout called by head coach Jeff Newhart. We'll step aside. We're back in 30 seconds here on Live Ticket TV.
What's your big picture?
To keep the farm in the family.
To pay off the loan.
To start my own operation.
To drive Grandpa's combine. Right, Grandpa?
If owning a successful operation is in your big picture, First Bank & Trust has ag experts to help you plan for the future.
To diversify.
To teach her how to drive a combine.
Find out how First Bank & Trust makes managing your farm easier at bankeasy.com.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. I'll finish telling Cole my $1 trillion idea at halftime. Cole, it's a great idea. It is a great idea.
No.
I get that they both have gone bankrupt throughout the years, but I'm telling you, if I had $1 trillion, it would work.
Let's take two bankrupt organizations and combine them.
It would work.
I mean, that's what the XFL and USFL are basically doing, right?
Exactly. See,
it's not going to work though. It's not going to work.
My idea would work. I'm telling you what.
I mean, yours might, but the XFL USFL thing is not going to.
Back in action here. 1:35 remaining before halftime. Kolbaum straightaway three. This one's off the side of the iron. Vermillion has a 2-point lead, 24-22. They're on currently a modest 6-0 run. Barta squares up, shoots the three. This one is off the mark. Did have an open look there, which Vermillion is getting a few more open looks from the three-point land. They just haven't necessarily hit them every single time. Van Rokel has it. Final minute approaching before halftime and what has been a very quick-moving first half. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Missed shot at the rim. Quick transition the opposite way, and Barta doesn't make the shot, but you'll love to see it. The three-quarters pass from Rivers, and Barta just goes up with the shot. If you're not going to make it, at least draw the foul. That's exactly what she does. The foul does go against Courtney Brewer, her second personal, and the second team as well. And it'll be 2 free throws for Barta, as she has yet to score here in the ball game. And as I say that, hits the first free throw. And now both teams have had a bench scorer for this evening. 2 girls come off, which do include Hannah Neerman and Grace Peed for the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies, as Ashley Brewer and Sierra Schmitz check back on. So Elk Point Jefferson back out with their starting 5. The second free throw does miss everything, so it'll be a quick stoppage, reset. We'll be ready to go here in just a moment. Don't forget, game number 2 of our doubleheader features the 6-1 Vermillion Tanagers taking on the 4-6 Elk Point Jefferson Huskies. Yes, the Huskies boys basketball team already halfway through their season. Crazy to think about. Inside, and this one is good for Ashley Brewer. She has 4 points in the ball game, and it's a 1-point lead for the Vermillion Tanagers, 25-24. The final 35 seconds of this first half. It's Voss. She drives in high off the glass. Can't hit, but she's going to be fouled. And Cole really starting to see here in this final minute, Vermillion starting to attack the glass a little bit more and going up through contact. You like to see that.
Yeah, it's one thing that, I mean, we really haven't seen through the first 1.5 quarters, and I think that's why Vermillion kind of got off to that slow start in the second quarter, is almost all their shots were 15 feet out and farther. Now they're starting to push the pace and then push the glass, starting to draw fouls, get some free throws.
Voss does miss her first. Second free throw. This one is good, giving her 5 points for the ball game and a quick substitution. As Voss will come out and Shania Cleveland will come in. Vermillion is now 3 of 6 here in the ball game, whereas the Huskies are 3 of 4, shooting 75%. Vermillion shooting 50%. We'll see how much that makes a difference coming up in the second half. A turnover by the Huskies, as they could have held for the last second shot, and the turnover now gives Vermillion that opportunity, and they will do so, trying to expand on this 2-point lead. It's with Rivers to Janaea Cleveland, now to Brooke Jensen, catch and shoot 3 for her off the front of the iron. And it's going to be a heave by Sierra Schmitz, nowhere near, and we go to halftime. Vermillion led it by 5 after quarter number 1, and now just lead it by 2, 26-24. Our first half statistics and a preview of the boys' game is coming up here at halftime. That's on the way next on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here is your spot with Live Ticket TV. With over 65 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you find the right market. Plus, you can work with me, Heath, and a portion of all sales made go right back to the school. Get a hold of me today and let's get started in helping build your brand with Live Ticket TV. There's no better organization that gives back to the student athletes than the Booster Club. The Vermillion Booster Club is committed to helping all student athletes grow. Join the Tanager faithful today by becoming a member at GoTanagers.com. While you're there, check out Team Apparel for your favorite sports team. Like them on Facebook to stay up to date on all the latest information and sports games. Join the Vermillion Boosters today and go Tanagers.
Give it off to Cisse, gliding to the basket. Out to 3, Jay Hayes. Good. And Eric Glenn wants to stop the music.
Insurance rates are on the rise, and now more than ever, every penny counts. With me, John Brooks at DFS Insurance, we can look over your coverages and find the right insurance carrier to help you keep your costs down. At DFS Insurance, I'm an independent agent, which allows me to offer a variety of different carriers to fit your needs. When you're ready for your free, no obligation quote, give me a call, and we'll get you on the path to the best and most affordable insurance you need with Dakota Financial Services.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. DAC 12, Region 4A matchup, game number 1 of 2 so far at the halfway mark. It's 26-24, 2-point lead for the Vermillion girls, who are receiving votes in the media and have a very busy week. A game, of course, right now, and then games coming up on Friday inside the Corn Palace and also a game in Irene in a classic that's going on Saturday. By the way, that, of course, game is being made up on Friday for the Hanson Classic that was supposed to happen this past Saturday. The reason why we're playing at the Corn Palace is, as what I've been told, just convenience at this point, as what I was told was neither team wanted to travel to the other team, which doesn't necessarily make sense to me because Mount Vernon, that's in their backyard, so it doesn't...
For Vermillion, you're almost closer going to Mount Vernon than you are going to the Corn Palace. It's probably about 6 extra minutes.
That's what I was saying. I'm like, at this point, let's just go to Mount Vernon. I mean, but...
Bring it on!
But then we get, of course, a popcorn ball at the Corn Palace, so...
They're from Kimball anyway.
Cole, what do you have for our first half statistics?
I told you to stop for 30 seconds. A minute and a half later, I'm sitting here. All right, let's go with first half stats. First for the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies and their 24 points. They're led by Sierra Schmitz. She finished with 8 in the half. Then we'll go down the rest of the roster numerically as I see it on my sheet. Caitlin Van Rokel, 4 points and a rebound for the Huskies. Ashley Brewer, also 4 points and a rebound. Sierra Schmitz, again, 8 points. 3 rebounds and an assist thrown in there. Grace Peed, 2 points and a rebound, an assist, and a block. Bentley Kohlbaum, 6 points, 4 rebounds, and a steal. And then Courtney Brewer did not score but had 2 rebounds as well as an assist. Elk Point Jefferson, 8 in the first quarter, 16 in the second quarter. And when you think about it, they scored 12 of those 16 points in 4 possessions down the court. It's a good job Vermillion locking them up defensively late in that second quarter. For Vermillion, 26 points. They were led, well, by 3 different players. Both Taylor Ruvers, Janaea Cleveland, and Chandler Cleveland all have 6 points. Then we'll go down the rest of the stats as we see it numerically on the roster. Taylor Barda with a free throw in that second quarter. Ruvers, again, 6 points on 2 3-pointers in that first quarter. 2 rebounds, an assist, and 2 steals for her. Brooklyn Voss, 5 points, an assist, a steal, and a block. Janaea Cleveland, 6 points, a rebound, an assist, and a steal. Chandler Cleveland, again, 6 points, 3 rebounds, and a steal. And then Brooke Jensen, just 2 points for her in that first quarter. 4 rebounds and a block. Vermillion, 13 points in both quarters for them for their total of 26 points. EPJ, 3 for 4 from the free throw line, which is surprising considering how many they shot early in that game. And then the Tanagers, 3 for 6 from the line. Again, your halftime score, 26-24. In favor of the hometown Tanagers.
Don't forget the Vermillion Baseball Association Chili and Wild Game Feed fundraiser comes up on Sunday, February 4th from 3 to 8 at the Charcoal Lounge in Vermillion. It's $20 for tickets. That does include 2 drink tickets. There'll be fresh walleye and chislic from 4 to 6. Kids meals will be available for $5, and tickets can be purchased at the door the day of the event. Again, that's coming up on Sunday, February 4th from 3 to 8 at the Charcoal Lounge. Cole Larsh and I will see you there, as we had a good time at it last year, 26-24. Hey, quick preview. Again, if you missed out, just tuning in, game number 2 coming up does feature the Vermillion boys at 6-1 overall. There has been some media attention to the Vermillion boys. At least one media outlet was saying Vermillion boys could be competing for the DAC-12 conference title. And I will say, I mentioned that to head coach Jay Drake, and he laughed off and said there's plenty of basketball left to be played for yet this season, but also Elk Point Jefferson coming into that matchup 4-6 overall, already halfway through their season. You may remember it was the Elk Point Jefferson boys last year who made it to the state tournament and had themselves a good run in that state tournament. A very exciting team they were last year. Certainly have lost some great talent, but when it comes to the DAC-12 in this Region 4A, always going to be a very, very competitive game. That one comes up about 20 minutes after the conclusion of this girls' game. Again, here inside the Birdcage, it's 26-24 right now at halftime. Cole Larsh taking a quick look at the scores from across the state of South Dakota, at least on the girls' side, and a little bit closer to home. What have we seen so far from what scores have been reported?
Again, like you said, not a lot of scores going on. Also, not a lot of double headers tonight, so some interesting start times for these games. The Mount Vernon Planking Titans, who Vermillion plays on Friday, leads Redfield 36-8 at halftime. Other scores, number 2 Wagner leads O'Neill, Nebraska 48-28 at halftime. Trying to get some other, and that is all the area scores being reported so far.
Cool.
In girls Class A.
Speaking of, you talk about some basketball. Let's break this down here. All right, so the Madison versus Vermillion boys game will be made up coming up on January 29th with the C game starting at 4:30. The Madison girls game will be made up on February 5th here in Vermillion as well. C game starting at 4:30. The Vermillion boys and girls at Lenox will be made up on February 12th with the C games starting at 4. And then again, the Hanson Classic game in Mitchell will be made up this Friday at the Corn Palace with JV at 4 o'clock and the varsity versus MVP at 5. So all the basketball we have missed so far has been rescheduled at the moment, which is good to see. Of course, there's always still time to get those games rescheduled here at this point and trying to get it in before any more weather does take effect. And we, of course, do expect probably at one point weather to play a factor yet this season as we have been dealing with those colder temperatures and, of course, the snow system that moved through the area. Cole, by the way, I'm good to see that you didn't freeze too much. Car working okay?
Yeah, my car works good.
Okay. I had to sit outside and fix another car today, so
I spent about 3.5 hours digging out one of my friend's cars from a parking lot.
They put it was in the parking lot?
Yeah.
Just don't move it a little bit more often than that.
Well, yeah, she tried, but the snow was so high it was half covering her windows.
Good Lord, back in action here as we're back underway. Here to start the second half between the Vermillion Tanagers and the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies. The Vermillion Tanagers now moving from left to right as you see it on your phone and the big screen there at home as Brooke Jensen drives in. It's her first points since the first quarter. She has 4 for the ball game, and Vermillion takes a 4-point lead. The Huskies back out there with their starting 5 of Van Rokel, Brewer, Schmitz, Kohlbaum, and Brewer. Of course, Vermillion back out there with Rivers, Voss, Cleveland, and Jensen. 4-point lead, and now a quick turnover as Chandler Cleveland came out of nowhere to steal away, and quickly Vermillion moves in the opposite direction. By the way, Vermillion has had their biggest lead of 7. The Elk Point Jefferson Huskies have never had a lead bigger than 3, and Rivers stepped out of bounds as she tried to save it, which actually in the end worked out because as she did save it, she threw it to the Huskies, which the whistle eliminates the fast break opportunity for Elk Point Jefferson. Shira Smits moves into the front court. Again, Vermillion with a 4-point lead in what has been a close game throughout. By the way, when Vermillion was up by 7, it was quickly answered by 12 straight points for the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies, or at least 12 points, I should say, on 4 possessions to start the second quarter. That's where Elk Point Jefferson was able to get their biggest lead of 3. Down to 5 seconds on the shot clock as Van Rokel tries to force something up. She was guarded closely there by Rufers. There might be a little bit of defensive switching for the Vermillion Tanagers. We'll pay attention to what they decide to go with for the second half. Another jumper by Brooke Jensen. She just continues to leave her shots short so far this evening. 4-point lead still for Vermillion. 3-pointer, this one misses everything, and then it goes out of bounds. Cole, they say last touch there by the Huskies. Trying to save it was Schmitz, but was also being touched there by Cleveland, who was out of bounds. Vermillion gets the lucky break probably in the end.
Yeah.
Cole's like, that's all I got?
I mean, you took the words out of my mouth pretty much.
Another missed shot. Cole, something we do look at here, not a whole lot of offense for either team in this first couple of minutes to start this second half.
Yeah, it's been almost completely different starts to the quarters between the second and third quarter. I think both teams know that they got to try and limit the other team's offensive chances, and so far neither team can get anything going offensively.
That's now about the third, fourth time we have seen Vermillion, and this is working very successfully. Just drive in and force something up because Elk Point Jefferson has been handsy all night tonight just trying to get some blocks in, and Vermillion is drawing fouls. Courtney Brewer, by the way, picks up her 3rd personal. So she's going to have to come out of the basketball game. She does average 8 points so far this season, and she has yet to score here in the ball game. And she'll come out And checking in will be Hannah Neerman for the Huskies to replace Courtney Brewer. And that is a big miss as well, as Courtney Brewer, big size piece, if you will. And now we have to clean up a little bit of sweat out there. As Coach Jensen brings out the towel, wipe it up, and we're good to go. 29-24, second free throw for Cleveland is up, and as she's able to hit them both. So Cleveland now with 8 points here in the ball game, and now a quick whistle by head coach Jeff Newharth. We'll step aside. We're back here in just a moment on Live Ticket TV. Farming today requires constant adjustment, innovation, and the right seed, and you'll find that with Pioneer Seed at Dakota Seed and Services in Irene and Vermillion. With the most advanced technologies and local experts, Dakota Seed and Service share in your hard work on the farm, adapting to an ever-changing industry. When you need the right seed, protection, and service, make it Dakota Seed and Services in Irene and Vermillion.
Whether you're pregnant or planning ahead, you and your baby deserve a healthy start. We offer a wide range of services such as advocacy, health screenings and education, care coordination and car seat safety, participant empowerment, referral services, and fatherhood support. To learn more about Great Plains Healthy Start, visit greatplainstravelhealth.org or call one of our 5 service areas today. Brought to you by Great Plains Healthy Start, so that the people may live.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. I hear Cole Larsh is extremely excited for Friday's matchup for the Vermillion Tanagers. Cole Larsh not quite back to his stomping grounds, but gets to see.
Oh, there was a time in my life where the Corn Palace was my stomping grounds for a while. Watched so many Dakota Wesleyan Tiger games in that place that.
Now, Cole, do you wish it was boys' game?
No.
I will not tell your brother you said that.
Please do.
Elk Point Jefferson tries to force it inside, and a few different girls on the ground, and it will be a jump ball call. Possession arrow favors the Huskies with 3 seconds on the shot clock. I thought you were going to say something about your brother. Never mind. 30-24, 4:58. It's inbounded. Schmitz has it. She needs to put up a shot. It's deep, and shot clock violation. Didn't hit the iron, so they have to reset here. Which, Cole, you can probably just let that go.
It's because it hit the ground. So nobody possessed it right after the shot, so that's why it's shot clock violation. If Rivers goes down and picks it up, grabs it out of the air, then we don't stop. We're still playing.
We could just keep going if you wanted to.
I mean, that works too.
Block shot by Colbaum as Cleveland went up with it. This time Colbaum, with her size, is able to knock it down. They want to go back inside to Colbaum, and that pass was read perfectly by Janaea Cleveland, who saw it on a telegram. 30-24, 4:25, third quarter. Cleveland passes over to Ruvers. Vermillion. Around the Rosie they go. Inside now to Chandler Cleveland. She draws a triple team and still will try to force something up. Can't connect with her shot. And here comes Elk Point Jefferson. Vermillion can't pull away, but right now the Huskies can't pull closer. Reverse, this one is off the mark there for Ashley Brewer. Rivers quickly to Voss. Back out to Chandler Cleveland, over to Rivers. And a couple big buckets here by Vermillion Tanagers, it seems like would really open this one up and maybe give them a fighting chance or a winning chance, if you will. This one, a high shot off the glass. Somehow Rivers gets back her own rebound, and then a whistle called for a rebounding foul that will go against Elk Point Jefferson. Now picking up their second personal. But that has been the one big issue for Elk Point Jefferson so far, is foul trouble inside. Vermillion just hasn't necessarily attacked it a whole lot here throughout the ball game. Voss back inside to Brooke Jensen as she's able to connect. Great assist that time by Brooklyn Voss. And it's now 32-24, an 8-point lead, which is the biggest lead that Vermillion has had of the basketball game. And Cole, this is also kind of a point where the Huskies, with the competition they've faced so far this season, aren't really battle-tested down the stretch. And even in that one loss, Sioux Falls Christian pulled away in that third quarter at one point. So this is certainly could be a very crucial time for Elk Point Jefferson.
Yeah, you say that. I mean, not being battle-tested and being a crucial time, they have yet to score here in the third quarter. They had 24 points at halftime. They got 24 points now, and I think that's what they're going to try and talk about in this full timeout is you got to get something going on the offensive end to give yourself a chance.
Yeah, Jeff Newharth definitely sees that and wants to see if he can't find something offensively. Again, the slight foul trouble as well as Courtney Brewer has picked up 3 personal fouls. By the way, once again, want to go over the schedule after all the games that we've had moved around. Make sure you're paying attention. And here we are, Madison versus Vermillion boys we made up coming up on January 29th, so that's in a couple weeks. Now again, we were expecting Madison originally to be a doubleheader, has now been broken up just as it was a few years ago into individual games. Vermillion boys will be playing the 29th, and Vermillion girls versus Madison being played on February 5th. The Vermillion boys and girls doubleheader at Lennox is going to be made up on February 12th, and then the Hanson Classic game in Mitchell will be made up this Friday at the Corn Palace, with the JV game starting at 4 and the varsity set to start right around 5. Now, this is not considered the Hanson Classic anymore, which means we will be streaming that game. Of course, did not have the original rights to it, or I should say Live Ticket did, but not Vermillion Tanagers Live, but now able to stream that game coming up on Friday. 32-24. Bounce pass inside. It's Chandler Cleveland who goes up with it. She connects, and Vermillion now has a double-digit lead. Chandler Cleveland has scored 10 points here in the ball game. 34-24 to 36, third quarter. And as Cole mentioned, EPJ has not scored yet in this quarter, and now Van Rokel is going to attack and draw the foul against the Roofers. There'll be 2 free throws upcoming. So Roofers picks up her second personal, the first team foul. And 2 free throws for Van Rokel as she's able to hit the first. She has 5 points here in the ball game. Peed will come on as Neerman will come off. Also, Schmitz will check back in, and Ashley Brewer will check out. 34-25 to 31. Second free throw is good for Van Rokel. She has 6 points. Huskies have now not hit a field goal here in this third quarter, but have gotten their first points of the second half. 34-26. Barta back to the top with Roofers. Voss wants it underneath the hoop, and it's going to be tipped. Goes out of bounds. We'll stay with Vermillion Tanager. She was jumping around like a maniac, wanting the basketball, and eventually the pass just came too late. The Huskies were ready for it. Barta gets it into Brooke Jensen. Jensen going up against Peed. Spin off the glass and good. And again, she thinks that one is an and one opportunity, and it's not. It's a travel. Again, because she spins. 34-26. John Brooks is beside himself. He's like, are you kidding me? And again, whether it is a travel or not, they're trying to shut it down, and now a region foul that goes against Chandler Cleveland, picking up her second personal, the second team foul. And Brooke Jensen, again, went straight to the free throw line as though she thought the whistle was for an and one opportunity. Inside, Kohlbaum, turnaround jumper. This one is good. And now 2 free throws in the first bucket of this third quarter. Draws it within 6. To Voss at the top of the key for the Vermillion Tanager. She drives in, kicks back out to Chandler Cleveland. She'll shoot the 3. Good. She followed up her shot as though she thought she missed, but has now 7 in the quarter, 13 for the ball game. Van Rokel drives in. She leaned away from the contact. Ball loose, goes out of bounds. Last touch by Vermillion. 37-28, 9-point lead for the Vermillion Tanagers, with 94 seconds remaining until our fourth quarter. Out to Van Rokel, 3-pointer. This one rattles in. Her first 3-pointer of the basketball game. She has 5 for the quarter, 9 for the game. And it's back to a 6-point lead. Brooke Jensen will drive in. Now pass to Voss, who didn't hold on to it with conviction. And it's poked away and out of bounds. Janaea Cleveland will come back in, and she'll take the spot of Brooklyn Voss. .113. And we're still getting a few late substitutions, as finally Ashley Brewer will check in and Bentley Colbaum will come out. All right, substitutions are made for either team. Inbound catch and shoot 3 for Roovers is off the mark, and it's going to be poked by Brooke Jensen. Janaea Cleveland comes up with the rebound, and Vermillion resets, and now the drive in, and a foul committed against the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies, the third team foul. It goes against Caitlin Van Rokel, picking up her second personal. 6-point lead for Vermillion with 1:02 remaining in this third quarter. 37-31. Inbound, Barta shoots the 3. This one misses. Loose basketball finally picked up by the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies. And I think it was loose the entire time, but they call a travel against Courtney Brewer. She can't believe it. How about a makeup call for the spin bucket by Brooke Jensen, if you will. Barta gets the inbound. She's not feeling confident from 3 land, decides to pass it off as she did have an open look. Under a minute now remaining in this quarter. Barta has it once again over to Janaea Cleveland. To Roovers. Back to Janaea. She'll shoot the 3. Good. Janaea Cleveland hits a big 3. She has now scored in all quarters. 9 points for her in the ball game. Bounce pass back out, now inside. Inside out, the Huskies go. Van Rokel with the shot clock, that's on. Van Rokel trying to force something inside, heaves something up, and again, Huskies could have held for the last second shot. Don't do so, and Vermillion really trying to expand. They lead it by 9 right now at the moment. 6 seconds. Still Roovers. And now pass and a foul called instead. It's going to go against Courtney Brewer, which is now her 4th. 4th of the ball game, and she is going to have to sit for some time. It's also the 4th team foul. With 3.9, Vermillion will have an opportunity to get one last second shot up. To Jensen. Jensen, step back 3. This one misses everything, and it will end the quarter. The Huskies put up 7 points, but not Vermillion's 16, as Vermillion went from a 2-point lead to a 9-point lead as we go to the 4th. 40-31. We're back in just a moment here on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live.
Nice.
Maytag appreciates a compliment, but this Maytag washer isn't just eye candy.
Wow.
Inside, it's got the capacity and power to handle even the mightiest loads.
I love this.
Yeah, she's a beaut.
It's a he.
How do you know?
Don't worry about it.
Find Maytag products and the industry's best appliances at your local dealer, Merce Appliance, downtown Vermillion. Since 1966, Louis Cleaning and Restoration has served the Vermillion and southeast South Dakota area with high-quality work and even higher-quality customer service. At Vermillion's oldest cleaning and restoration company, they pride themselves on providing the best service with friendly, knowledgeable staff. They specialize in cleaning, offering extensive cleaning services with high-powered equipment at an affordable price. Check out their website for a full list of services they offer. And next time you need it clean, call Louis Cleaning and Restoration. Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. We start the 4th quarter. Vermillion will start with possession of the basketball, leading it by 9 points. Elk Point Jefferson Huskies coming in 7-1 overall. They have not had really stiff competition so far this season. We'll see if they can't make a comeback here in the ball game. Missed rebounding opportunity by the Huskies as a missed shot by Voss, and Janaea Cleveland easily got it. Goes right back up with her shot and is fouled. The foul will go against Ashley Brewer, picking up her first personal. But again, the first team foul, and it is 2 free throws. Janaea Cleveland trying to get to double digits, and she will for just the second time this season. And Janaea Cleveland now with 10 points in the basketball game, but still outdoing her. Her sister has 13. Second free throw is good. So combined between the two, 24 points for the Cleveland girls, which is more than half for the Vermillion Tanagers. Missed shot by the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies, and Cole for the Huskies. They really need to get some defensive stops, but more importantly, they need to find some buckets.
Yeah, it really hasn't been their defense. I mean, they've been consistent every quarter, 13 in the first, 13 in the second, and 14 in the third. It's just they only scored 7 points there in that third quarter. I think they need to focus more on the offensive end and maybe on the defensive rebounding end as well.
Missed three-pointer by Voss, rebounded by Chandler Cleveland, and once again, she just goes up with the shot and will draw the foul. Van Rokel picks up now her third. Second team foul, and first free throw is good, as the Cleveland Twins just keep scoring points for the Vermillion Tanagers. And also, Chandler Cleveland has scored in all quarters tonight, 14 for the ball game. She is the leading scorer. She seems like a quiet leading scorer as well, right, Cole? She never puts up maybe, all of a sudden you look down, it's like, wow, she has 16 points for the ball game, and you just don't seem to even notice it sometimes from her.
No, you don't. I think that just kind of goes to how hard she works, and she takes her open shots usually underneath the hoop, but it's nothing more than that. It's nothing extra. It just goes down, usually gets a bunch of points off of offensive rebounds too.
And that's her mantra as well. Not flashy, doesn't say a whole lot, kind of keeps to herself, but is always hard-working. Another turnover by the Huskies. Brooke Jensen pull-up jumper good, and this one is starting to pull away for Vermillion as they now have their biggest lead, 15 points, 46-31. 6:31 remaining in the ball game. All right, maybe the punching method's not going to be one of my favorite things. We're back in just a moment here on Live Ticket TV.
Core Cares helps individuals stay at home by offering caregiving, nursing, and medical alert systems in over 55 communities in South Dakota. Specializing in tasks like bathing, meal prep, and medication setups, our well-trained staff delivers exceptional care. We invest in our team through customized training and comprehensive benefits. To learn more about job opportunities or services, visit our website at corecares.com. Core Cares, proudly serving our community.
Best Western Ramkota Hotel in Aberdeen is the place to stay for business or the weekend family getaway. You'll feel right at home with ample parking, spacious guest rooms, and complimentary breakfast. And with a convenient location, you'll have easy access to local attractions and events in the area. While staying at the Best Western Ramkota, guests can enjoy an indoor water play land, an on-site Minerva's restaurant, exercise facility, wedding services, and a business center. For friendly service and a great stay, make your reservation today.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. 46-31 out of the timeout from head coach Jeff Neuharth. Kolbaum is able to hit, and now we're seeing a full court press by the Huskies. Vermillion is able to break it as they have it in the front court, driving quickly the opposite way, and in and out the Tanagers work, and now just work some of this clock as well. By the way, Bentley Kolbaum has scored in all quarters as well for the Huskies, and now a pass. Janaea Cleveland and Van Rokel both went for the basketball. Janaea Cleveland knocked over Van Rokel. No foul called either way. Cole explained the no call there for either team.
Let them play. They're both going after a loose ball. It just so happened that one of them fell down to the floor and the other one didn't.
And now a timeout. Nothing against Van Rokel. But one thing, if you talk about the Cleveland Twins, we mentioned just a moment ago, quietly getting points, maybe is not the flashiest of girls out there. Chandler Cleveland. It's not flashy, but certainly if you talk about Twins and who's maybe the more aggressive one, who would beat the other one up is Janaea Cleveland.
Yep.
And Janaea has that mantra about her on the court as well. As she is loose basketball, she's going to go for it, and it doesn't matter who or what gets in her way. she's going to try to break through it or knock anyone over for it. 48-33. By the way, it was a quick bucket by Kolbom, but Vermillion answered it right back. So still a 15-point lead with 5:36 remaining here in this fourth quarter. Controlled three-pointer. It took a deflection on its way through. Courtney Brewer comes up with a rebound, kicked back out. Now Vermillion can't get lackadaisical either, and now a pass that's going to go through the hands of Van Roekel and out of bounds. 48-33, 5:22 fourth quarter. Again, the full court press is on as Ruvers is going to attack it against Van Roekel, picking up now her fourth personal, the third team foul. So we're getting even closer to bonus, as Ashley Brewer didn't like the call and started imitating maybe Ruvers out there on the court. Drive in by Brooke Jensen, puts up a shot, and foul called against Bentley Kolbom. That is now the fourth team foul, so bonus upcoming on the next foul for the Vermillion Tanagers, and the second one that will be against Bentley Kolbom. First free throw is up, and this one is off the mark for Brooke Jensen. Again, at halftime, it was 26-24. Vermillion has since just pulled away here in the game. Second free throw. This one is also off the mark, but certainly it's not over. A lot of time left to go. This one has been choppy the first 3 minutes, and now a pass quickly turned over as well. Quick transition the opposite way. Quick assist by Ruvers all the way up to Brooke Jensen. Is that the nail in the coffin? And now a quick whistle as Vermillion reaches in. It'll be Voss with the foul, picking up her first and the team first of this quarter. 50-33. Quick inbound and quick bucket to Ashley Brewer. Her first points of the second half. 50-35. Again, Vermillion almost to their average points scored in a game, and now a quick turnover for Vermillion as it's a 2-on-1. Van Roekel takes the jumper. This one is off the mark, and it's rebounded by Janaea Cleveland. Something Vermillion needs to do is slow things down and start to milk the clock. 15-point lead. It feels comfortable, but you wouldn't quite say you've won the game yet. Voss has it. 20 seconds remaining on the shot clock. You'd love to see this get down to under 5 for Vermillion. Rivers over to Brooke Jensen. Almost lost a dribble. Jensen out to Voss. Now under 8 seconds. Still Voss gives it to Rivers. 4 seconds. Rivers looking, just turnaround jumper. This one is off the mark. And Elk Point Jefferson comes away with the rebound, but Vermillion does exactly what they need to, and that was wasting 35 seconds. And now quickly, Van Roekel inside, open look. She missed. She just can't believe herself. She's had some looks tonight and just hasn't been able to cash in. That's that confidence. You don't see a couple shots go in, and you're just battling your own thoughts and actions throughout the rest of the evening. Vermillion once again just trying to bleed out this clock. A pass that is going to be stolen away by the Huskies. As Brooke Jensen tripped over the line, Courtney Brewer. And now inside to Kolbom, but a foul called against Voss before the shot. So common foul, second personal against Brooklyn Voss. It's the second team foul as well. 50-35, 3:16 fourth quarter. The inbound deep as they work it to Ashley Brewer. To Shira Smits, back to Van Roekel. Van Roekel kicks out to Courtney Brewer. The Huskies, they want to have any chance at all, need to get up a shot and need to make it quick here. Van Roekel, as we're now under 3 remaining here in the ball game, and just Vermillion stout defensively. And Cole, that ESPN ticker of probability of win, you feel is at 99.9 now for the Vermillion Tanagers.
Yeah, especially, I mean, they just go to the offensive end and just like that, almost a wide open layup that time by Janaea Cleveland. And it's just anything that EPJ has been doing on the offensive end, they can't quite seem to get. But the exact opposite has been happening on the Vermillion end. Anything that's open, they've been taking, and a lot of it's been falling.
Neither coach has called off the Dogs yet, but it might be Jeff Newhart who commits first and throws in the white towel. It's a 17-point lead. And shot blocked away, but Vermillion's able to pick it back up, and then a reach-in foul, which is now the 5th team foul, which will be bonus for the Vermillion Tanagers. It is the 2nd personal against Ashley Brewer. So bonus the rest of this ball game for the Vermillion Tanagers. 52-35. Before we get to our boys pregame show, Cole will give you the quick final game statistics. As it'll be free throws for Chandler Cleveland. She's able to hit the first, giving her 18 points for the ball game. And here we go. We might start seeing subs as Vermillion now has their biggest lead of the ball game. As Voss will take a spot on the bench, which you have to believe is going to be her final time. She finishes with 5 points here in the ball game. Missed free throw, but it's going to be an offensive rebound and a quick foul against Ashley Brewer as she was trying to push Barta out of bounds. So Barta will be shooting 2 free throws. 53-35, 2:09 remaining here in the ball game. Free throw is up, and this one's off the mark. Well, coaches aren't going to concede yet. John Brooks paces up and down the sideline. 2nd free throw. This one's off the mark, but it's another offensive board. And Vermillion offensively is just going to reset, and that's what head coach John Brooks is saying. Hey, work the clock now. We're up by 18. We're going to win this game. Let's make it move a little bit quicker and no need. Oh, quick 3 there by Rubers. She gets it to go. Rubers, 9 points in the ball game tonight, all from downtown, 56-35. For Elk Point Jefferson Huskies, the toughness so far of their schedule, which is nothing they can help, by the way. I can't stress that enough. We talk about how they haven't really faced enough tough teams, but you got to remember what's been on the schedule and what Elk Point Jefferson faced even at this point last year. Including game you look at right away. Viber Curley, a team that wins the state title a year ago, not the same as they were. And now we're starting to see the Dogs being called off as Chandler Cleveland is going to check out. She finishes with 18 points. 13 points for Janaea Cleveland as she checks out of the ball game. Now, 90 seconds remaining here. Catch and shoot 3 quickly by Brewer. This one's off the mark. It's going to be stepping out of bounds was Peed. She was able to collect but not hold on to it enough. Back in action, 56-35 in the front court. A travel is going to be called here, which will just, all it does is kind of delay the game and stop for just a moment as the travel was called against Mackenzie Richardson. Of course, not at a running clock here at the moment, but this game well in hand. Now, Vermillion does have a couple of their starters still out there on the court, but so do the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies as this one's inside and a foul is now called. Missed free throw. Excuse me, missed shot and free throws upcoming for Grace Peet. Again, don't forget, coming up here after the conclusion of this game, we'll have our final game statistics and then get to the boys pregame show, which will catch up with both head coach Jake Otkin and head coach Jay Drake here this evening. So we're looking forward to both their conversations. Late substitutions as both teams are switching out players here at the moment. (56-35). Game that's now starting to extend a little bit out. First free throw, excuse me, second free throw is up and good there for Peet, as both teams do have the JV out there. And again, Vermillion in the end will move to 6-2 overall, 2-1 within the region, and 4-1 in the DAC-12. Work the ball inside. It goes down to Wallen. Lost it for a moment. Back out to Hansen. Straight away 3. Took a deflection on its way through, and it will go out of bounds, and it will be Husky basketball. The Huskies will drop to 7-2 overall. Now 2-1 within the region, and also 4-2 in the DAC-12. It's right now a 20-point victory, what the Vermillion girls are looking at as they move the basketball around. Huskies have it with Pede at the block, up with her shot. It's going to be rebounded by Hansen, and that will work out the clock. Cole quickly looking at our final game numbers for both the Vermillion Tanagers and the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies.
Yeah, first for EPJ, they were led in scoring to end the game by Bentley Colbaum. She had 10. Now we'll go down the rest of the stats. We had Rokel 9 points and a rebound. Ashley Brewer 6 and a rebound. Sierra Schmitz 8, 4 rebounds, an assist and a steal. Hannah Neerman with a rebound. Grace Pede 3 points, 2 rebounds, an assist and a block. Bentley Colbaum 10 points, 5 boards. Courtney Brewer did not score but had 4 rebounds. EPJ finishes with 36 points. They score 8 in the first, 16 in the second, 7 in the third, and 5 in the fourth quarter for their total of 36. Now for Vermillion, Barda with 1.1 rebound and 1 assist. Taylor Roovers 9, 3 boards, 3 assists, and 4 steals. Brooklyn Voss 5 points, 2 assists, a steal, and a block. Janaea Cleveland 12 points, 7 rebounds for her, an assist and 2 steals. Chandler Cleveland, leading scorer, 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 steals. Brooke Jensen, 10 points, 6 boards, an assist, and a block. Vermillion, 13 in the first, 13 in the second, 14 in the third, and 16 in the fourth for their total of 56 points. Again, Vermillion goes to 6-2 on the season. EPJ falls to 7-2.
Cole Larsh there with our final game statistics. Let's jump straight in to the boys' game pregame show, wasting no time as we get to our first coaches conversation. That is, of course, with head coach Jake Odkin of the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies. Overall, the Huskies come in 4-6. 1-1 within the region, but the Huskies have been bit by the DAC-12 bug. They're 0-4. What does it take to find the win tonight against the Vermillion Tanagers? Here he is on our pregame show. It's head coach Jake Odkin of the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies. Coach, as you get ready for the Vermillion Tanagers, before we talk about this matchup and before we talk about the season, I want to talk about something else, and that is breeding success at Elk Point Jefferson. Of course, I know you're a part of the football team as well and the coaching staff, and we've seen it over the past couple of years now, how the success of one sport leads into another. We saw that last year, and now going into this season as well with your basketball team. How much of the success in other sports continues to build at EPJ and just build success for the Huskies?
Yeah, I would say it has a huge impact on every sport that comes after it. When you have the success that we've had on the football field here in recent years, you look at our girls' side on the volleyball court, they've had some really good success, and it just kind of translates to those other sports, and it really pushes maybe some of the kids that aren't on the football team or aren't on the volleyball team to want to invest and have that same success in their set sports as well. And then those that are involved, they get that taste of success, and they kind of can tell those other kids how it feels and what it's like. And you just see it's a trickle-down effect of if we're successful in this sport, we want to have that success at every level. And I think our kids now have tasted it. They've known what it feels like, and that's kind of the standard that they've set for themselves now is, look, if we don't have success, we almost deem it, I wouldn't say a failure, but a disappointment that we don't have success in those areas because they've just kind of set that high standard for themselves to expect success of themselves in everything that they do.
You talk about the prep and getting ready for the Vermillion Tanagers. You say a lot of good things about the Vermillion Tanagers. And on the opposite side, head coach Jay Drake would say, hey, I still don't know the identity of this team. We show a lot of great things, but but I don't know if that's truly us yet. So when you watch film, what you've been practicing for, what's the one key thing that you want to shut down in that matchup against the Vermillion Tanagers?
Well, I think they clearly have any guy on the floor that can score at any given time. They start 5 guys on the floor that have shown the capability to put the ball in the hoop. But I would say their main threat is being able to shoot it from deep and hurt you from deep. Every single one of their guys that steps on the floor primarily can shoot it from deep. And you got to be able to contest those shots and control those shots and not let them get comfortable in drive and kick situations where they're getting aggressive going to the hoop and then kicking it to open guys for open threes. You want to make sure that you're contesting all those shots and then contesting them going to the rim and challenging their shots going to the rim and their shots from the three-point line. But what makes them, I think, so dynamic and such a threat is that it's hard to focus on just 1 or 2 guys, because if you do, it's going to be the other 2 or 3 guys that are going to hurt you that night. You might shut down 1 or 2 of them, but the other 2 or 3 are going to be the ones that step up and score on that night. So they're pretty wide open and balanced in their attack, and you got to make sure that you're invested all in contesting their shots and contesting them getting to the rim.
On the offensive game plan for your squad, there's kind of maybe 2 things I look, or I should say 2 players that I look at to maybe really step up, and that's Reed and Evan in this game, and that's because of their size. One thing Vermillion doesn't have this season at times, I mean, they bring on the Cole Tweeten boy, a big man inside, but he doesn't necessarily start, and I think that makes for a good matchup if you want to pound it inside on Evan. Is he going to be one of those main guys you look to have a big game for your squad, or do you want to step outside and shoot the 3 when it comes to the offensive game plan?
Yeah, I think we want to be able to take advantage of our size. Evan factors into every game plan that we have. We want to make sure that we're attempting to get him going and allowing him some of the freedoms that we allow him to play an inside-out game and an outside-in game. Reed's another example where we want to use that size as well, but he's a really good cutter and slasher as well, and we want to be able to take advantage of that. I think the biggest thing that we don't want to do is try to force because we know we have the size advantage. We don't want to force plays and force things inside just because we know we have a little advantage on the size. We want to take what the game gives us and take what Vermillion gives us and be able to use that to our advantage without forcing, because when you force against a team like Vermillion that's very active defensively, and they run their 2-2-1 press, and they got active hands and rebound and get the ball out and transition very well, that's when you're going to throw some bad passes, some tip passes with their long arm, and they're going to get it out in 2-on-1, 3-on-1 type of breaks. And those are the things we want to avoid against them. So I think we need to be patient. I think we need to take what the game gives us and what the flow of the game gives us and not force things. And if we do that and play under control and take care of the ball and value possession, I like the opportunity that we have in front of us tomorrow.
Coach, I know we talked about it, 4-6 overall, but you're still 1-1 within this Region 4, and you talk about the strength of schedule that you have had, which is only going to help you in seed points. We focus in now, of course, on the DAC 12. You know what it's all about, but now focusing more on this region. How important is it to get this one inside the birdcage?
Well, absolutely. Vermillion's a tough place to play. It doesn't matter who you are, what your record is. Going into that gym and that atmosphere is a tough place to play. They always seem to bring their best game out when they're at home, especially. It's every game in our region and in our conference is important. It's clearly the toughest conference in the state. I would argue, hands down, it's the toughest region in the state as well. And it's a grind to get out of it every year, and it's a grind to play in it every year. But I also think that the region is wide open. You know, we lost Canton early, game 1 of the year, when we have no idea what our identity is and what to expect, and Canton really shot lights out that game. I think they're a great team, and I think that game could be different if we played them again, but they also have the capability to light up the scoreboard as well. So you look at games like that, and you understand how those games help you prep for games like this. It's always going to be a battle, and you want to secure these games because your goal is to be a top 4 team in the region and host a region game right away instead of going on the road right away. It makes it that much more important to get every single one of these games that you're playing within your region.
Once again, that is head coach Jake Otkin here on our pregame show talking about how important this one is to get inside the birdcage tonight. He did end our conversation off air, if you will, to ask something about head coach Jay Drake and see if Jay would remember something that happened this past summer and how Jake got Jay. Here it is as we join our pregame conversation with head coach Jay Drake here on Live Ticket TV. Coach Drake, it's been a little bit of a vacation for you in your group, if you will, going into a snowstorm. But before we get into this matchup against Elk Point Jefferson, of course, this was the team that eliminated you from the postseason. But I even want to go back to this past summer where Coach Otkin got you on the golf course. There's any revenge for you going into this game to get back at that golf course loss this past summer against Coach Otkin?
Well, part of it is it was kind of a best ball scramble tournament and stuff. So I'll say this much: his team nipped us. The other side of that, though, is I feel pretty good because me personally, I played pretty well that day for myself. I don't have a great golf game, but I did my share for my team. I know it's not very. Being a good teammate and stuff, I'm going to blame the rest of my teammates on that one.
I agree with that because I did hear Coach Haynes was also on your team, and I see him on the golf course, I think, every single day during the summer. So for you guys not to win that, it certainly is a disappointment to hear. So see if you can't get Coach Otkin tonight on the basketball court. Speaking of, how have the past 10 days been with this whole entire layover? I mean, everyone kind of looks at it and says, all right, you've had plenty of time to just get ready for games, get rest in, get rejuvenized, but it's not necessarily that because with these snowstorms that come in, that means you also don't get on the court to practice, you can't get in the school, whatnot. So what has the past week and a half been like getting ready for just the next opponent up on the schedule?
Yeah, it's been different. Obviously, I think since we played our Parkston game, I think on that Friday, January 5th, and now we've had 10 days since that point. And over those 10 days, we basically have had 2 practices in there. Last Wednesday, we got in for practice, and then yesterday morning, we were able to get a practice in. But what was different about this is sometimes you kind of see it coming. And I know after that Parkston game on the Friday night, we knew it was going to get maybe a little cold the next week, but really didn't know on how much snow. I told our guys, if I really would have known that this past week was going to look like it did, we probably would have practiced that Saturday, Sunday right after the Parkston game because those 2 days were actually halfway decent. So like anything, for our guys, probably the toughest thing, besides the fact of not being able to get in the gym, trying to keep a rhythm and routine, both from a practice and game standpoint. But, from a coaching staff standpoint, we're preparing for Madison last Tuesday. And then when you don't have school Monday, Tuesday, you're immediately turning your attention to getting ready for a Lennox game on Thursday. We had our guys for practice last Wednesday, so you're going through a Lennox prep and scout. And then all of a sudden you're losing Thursday, Friday, and, can't do anything over the weekend with the weather, and now you're coming back on Monday morning, and you're getting ready for Elk Point Jefferson. So it's just the mindset. For our guys, the one thing I found out over the years with high school kids, they are pretty resilient, and some of these things don't affect them, but obviously it's a concern, and I'm sure it's the same thing for Coach Otkin because they're pretty much in the same boat here, where when you haven't done anything over the last 10 days or maybe only had a couple days of practice, obviously when you get on the court tonight, you want to get off to a good start, but you just don't know. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and I think maybe for your squad, we look at this Elk Point Jefferson team from where they were a year ago, right? This is a team that we didn't know how good they were going to be within this region, and eventually maybe everything breaks right for them, if you will, and they get a good matchup in the Sodak 16, make it onto the state tournament. But that is a year removed, and his team looks a lot different, if you will. A lot of senior leadership is now gone. New guys thrusted into varsity roles that maybe don't have the most experience, if you will, compared to your group, which is unique to say, it seems, at this point. So when you look at this matchup, do you see this one as a favorable or a good matchup for your guys to find another win on the hardwood tonight?
Well, we know we'll have to play well. We know that much. Looking at their record, I think they're 4-6, and yet they've been very competitive in their games. And the one thing they do have, obviously, is their 5 starters or 5 seniors, and the Merkley kid's a returning starter, and he really hurt us in the region game last year. I think he finished with 24 points. And hit 4 threes and was a huge difference maker early in the game that kind of separated it early, that we weren't banking on or counting on, or we're keen on some other guys. He made us pay for it. And then the big Fournier kid inside, obviously came off the bench for him last year, but has played a lot of varsity basketball the last 3-4 years. So they're going to lean on those 2 guys. But the other 3 starters with Moore, Saylor, and Timmons are they were their 8, 9, 10 guys last year, and did due to how well they played, and they got some playing time just because they're the EPJ breaking games open at times last year. And the one thing about their group is you're looking at a crew that all these guys are football players that won a state title a year ago. They were part of a basketball team that's in a state tournament in 4th place last year. They get back to the Dome this year, lose a close one to Hot Springs in the state title game. But it's kind of like the Parkston team we saw in our last outing. These guys are competitors. They play 3-4 sports. They've had success in all the sports. They know how to win. They compete. So anytime you get that, that's a concern. And then, it's a conference game, a region game. And like anything, it's a rival 15 minutes down the road. Doubleheader tonight, girl boy doubleheader. And even with this weather now, I think people are itching just to get out of the house. So I would expect anytime EPJ and Vermillion's playing, it's going to be a good crowd. But then you add the fact that people want to get out and do something. So I think it'd be a great high school atmosphere tonight. And like anything, we're going to have to play well. And if we play well, we feel we will be in a position where we can have a good chance in the 4th quarter. But if we don't, there's no doubt this is the type of team that can make you pay for it.
Once again, that is head coach Jay Drake here on our pregame show talking about the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies. As again, on paper, it seems like it might be straightforward, if you will. Maybe not a running clock game by any means, but certainly should just be simply enough. Vermillion should take care of business, but it's certainly going to be anything but that, because this is a DAC-12 Region 4A game. Elk Point Jefferson Huskies versus the Vermillion Tanagers. Game number 1 of our doubleheader went to Vermillion, with the Tanagers getting a 56-36 victory tonight over the Huskies. Now it's time for game number 2, as again EPJ comes in 4-6 overall, already halfway through their season. They are just 1-1 within the region, but yet to find a win in the DAC-12, where they are 0-4. Their one region win does come against Parker. All right, our starting 5 for the boys in black include number 3, Garrett Merkley, the 6-foot senior guard. Number 10, Carson Timmons, the 5'10 senior guard. Number 22, Caden Moore, the 5'10 senior guard. Number 30, Reed Saylor, the 6'3 senior forward. And number 33, Evan Fournier, the 6'7 senior forward for the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies. For the Vermillion Tanagers, nothing has changed with their starting 5 all season long. Again, going into this year, there was that conversation that we would see kind of guys rotate in and out of the starting 5, but it has been Connor Rohrig that locked down that starting spot, and he will begin our starting 5. Number 20, the 5'11 senior guard, who's also a captain. After that, it goes number 22, Bryson Skogsberg, the 6'1 freshman guard. Number 33, Zone Robinson, the 6'1 senior guard, and also a captain. Number 24, the final captain, Carter Hansen, the 6'3 junior guard, and his brother, number 33, Trey Hansen, the 6'3 sophomore guard, rounds out the starting 5 for the Vermillion Tanagers. Again, Vermillion 6-1 overall, 2-0 within the region, and still undefeated 3-0 in the DAC-12. Again, there has been some media sources that have put Vermillion in conversation to win the DAC-12. There's still plenty more of conference games yet to come this season. Opening tap, won obviously by the 6'7", Evan Fournier for the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies as they try to work it inside to him quickly. Ball is tipped around, back inside they go to him, and he has a big presence. Now, Vermillion has seen size so far this season, Cole, but maybe no one quite like Evan, who's not only tall, but also muscular.
Yeah, I think the biggest size they've probably seen this season, honestly, was probably in that last game against Parkston. They had a couple guys, maybe not as tall as Fournier, but definitely pretty big size. So let's see how they can compare. Usually in the previous games, they have kind of wreaked havoc inside.
Now, the only other size we can compare it to is the cool kid from West Central, staying at 7 foot. But he sometimes would like to step out and shoot the three. Speaking of the three, this one off the mark for Robinson. Ball is tipped, rebounded in the end by Rurig, and he collects for two, and we're tied 2-2, 7 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Finally, it's in the front court. And of course, Cole, you can't go to Evan all game long. Eventually, EPJ needs to find points somewhere else, and trying to take a charge was Rurig. And they're going to call a foul instead on Connor, picking up his first personal and the first team foul. Minute 10 already into the ball game. Again, this is a much different EPJ team than that made it to the state tournament a year ago. Evan has it. So he wants to bully his way inside. Won the goal, no look past the outside, and now guys on the hardwood. And it will be jump ball called and a possession arrow that favors the Vermillion Tanagers. So far here in this first minute 20, a little bit choppy. Haven't quite gathered ourselves in. Skogsberg has it, kicks over to Rurig. Rurig hands it off to Trey Hansen. He's going to go right inside, then dish it out to his brother in the corner who will shoot the three. He started moving down court like he knew he was going to hit it. His first points of the ball game. And quickly opposite way move the Huskies offensively inside to Fournier once again, and Vermillion just trying to shut him down. He's going to travel as he makes his own little spin move there. And again, it might have been 2 steps, especially with his large frame, but it's not going to fly by these officials tonight as they've made that call consistently so far, especially in that girls game. Pump fake by Carter Hansen. He's going to drive in, and a foul call before the shot that will go against Carson Timmons. His first personal, first team foul. 5-2, 6:04 first quarter. Inbound to Skogsberg. Skogsberg tries to go up tough, and foul called. That will go this time against Reed Saylor, picking up his first personal, second team foul, and 2 free throws upcoming. Cole, first minute 59. We really haven't seen much consistency so far here in this opening 2 minutes.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of a feeling out process. Both teams, again, haven't played in quite some time because of the weather, so it's just kind of getting back into the swing of things. I'd presume by probably the end of this quarter, maybe even soon here in a couple minutes, both teams going to start getting their feet underneath themselves a little bit more.
Second free throw is good for Bryson Skogsberg as Vermillion has now gone on a 7-0 run, a deep 2 with the foot into the perimeter. Miss, offensive rebound back out, another missed three-pointer, another offensive rebound for EPJ as they cycle it around once again. Reed has it, pass inside, deflected away by Zone Robinson, but he could never collect it fully. And now a 2-on-1 drive in, off the glass, and good for 2 is Garrett Merkley. And Vermillion transition the opposite way. This one's off the mark. And EPJ is going to slow it down for a moment. 7-4, 5:22 first quarter. EPJ, pull-up jumper. This one is good. As Reed Saylor connects for his first points of the evening. It's a modest 4-0 run for the Huskies. They're right back within it, down by 1. Robinson, the drive, and Robinson pulled it back at the last second. Couldn't get his shot to go. Evan can't believe it, but it was a great move by Zone Robinson to pull the ball back to draw the foul. Evan will pick up now his first personal, the third team foul. And 2 free throws upcoming for Vermillion as Robinson connects on the first, and Vermillion is now 3 of 3 from the charity stripe and 4 different starters to score. The only starter not to score is the leading scorer so far this season, and that is Trey Hansen. 8-6, second free throw up, and this one is off the mark for Robinson. 2-point lead, and quickly in the front court go the Huskies in transition. Shot blocked away from behind, last touched by the Huskies, as recently checked in the ball game. That was Ashton Fairbanks, who was last off of. Now Jake Odkin will use his bench a little bit more freely than, of course, head coach Jay Drake. And by the way, I know you can't see it there at home, but looking at the bench right now for the Vermillion Tanagers, Roovers has also been up on his feet quite a bit, along with Jay Drake, as they both pace back and forth. This one out, Robinson shoots the 3, connects. Zone Robinson, 4 points for him in the ball game. And Vermillion out to a 5-point lead, 11-6. Evan Fournier inside, and that time it was the small Connor Rohrig who stepped up on big defensively. Robinson splits the double team off the glass, and good for 2. He has still yet to make his commit to play football anywhere, but he's certainly good on the hardwood as well. 13-6. Now a quick whistle that's against Trey Hansen as it was trying to get in the front court. First personal on him, second team foul. 4:13 remaining here in this first quarter. Need to reset. The shot clock will do so, and we're back in action here. 4:08 first quarter. Free throw line, kick back out. Free throw line extended. Over to the corner, the drive, and the ball is going to be lost. Fight for the basketball, and now a whistle is called, jump ball, and it will stay with EPJ because of the possession arrow. Here we go, the inbound deep, they go to Fairbanks. Fairbanks at the block, off the glass, and good for 2. Fairbanks is the first bench player to score for either team. And now, a quick turnover on the Vermillion Tanagers the opposite way. 13-8, 3:45 first quarter. EPJ trying to fight back into it after they're down at 7. A pass is going to be deflected by Carter Hansen, and then he goes up with his shot, and eventually a foul is called. They call it against the Huskies, and I believe that's what they called on Landon Johnson. No, excuse me, that's Luke Schmitz who picks up the foul. And it'll be Carter Hansen shooting free throws, and now we're going to get a timeout as well. All right, we'll step aside. We're back here in just a moment on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. (13-8), 3:36 first quarter. We're back into action here. Free throws for Carter Hansen after the timeout was called by head coach Jake Otkin. He's trying to find some consistency with his team. And Cole, so far, you and I would both agree, as Carter Hansen airballs the second free throw. This game's been very choppy so far. Total of 6 fouls called between the two teams.
It's not only that, but it's been all the whistles, all the out of bounds, the couple jump balls. I mean, not I can't even see not what I expected. It's just I don't think what anybody expected is how choppy it's been. Another ball that goes out of bounds off an errant shot. It's just nobody. I don't know what the word for it is, but neither team's playing good. How about that? Let's just put it that way.
Well, that's from the ice-cold conditions that we have seen outside that have swept across the Midwest here over the past week. It's a drive-in, kick out to Trey Hansen. He'll shoot the three. This one's off the mark. Bryson Skogsberg somehow jumped over everybody, gets the rebound. He has 4 points. And Vermillion has now doubled up the Huskies, and now a foul that will go against Skogsberg as they thought Fairbanks threw out the arm there. Bryson picks up his first, third team foul with 3 minutes remaining here. 16-8. As the Huskies have it, trailing by 8. And working around the perimeter with Reed Saylor. Still Saylor as they go inside the perimeter. Kick back out, Saylor, three-pointer, good. And Reed Saylor, now 5 points here in the ball game. For the Oak Point Jefferson Huskies, 16-11, 2:33. First quarter, Carter Hansen over to Robinson. Robinson picks up his dribble at the free throw line to Carter Hansen. He's going to step out of bounds as he made the pass. He thought he was bumped, not going to get the call. As you said, Cole, been very, very choppy throughout this opening quarter with all the stoppages in play that we have had. Huskies inbound to everyone. We're just kind of standing around there for a moment. Still in the backcourt. A pass finally made. Bounce pass down to Reed Saylor, and he misses right there at the iron. And it's rebounded by Zone Robinson, who's going to push the tempo in the front court. Kick back out to Carter Hansen. Back over to Robinson. To Trey Hansen, who has yet to score for the Vermillion Tanagers. Now over to Skogsberg. Bryson. Pump fakes. Drives in. Off the glass. It looked like he was going to try to dunk it, but slaps it off of the plexi at the last moment. 18-11. Now another quick turnover. Trey Hansen to Zone Robinson, and a whistle called as Reed Saylor got kicked. As Zone Robinson went up for the shot, everyone getting up a little slow for a moment. All the officials were looking around. So in the end, Reed Saylor, no, I'm not going to call this on Reed. I'm going to call this instead on Luke Schmitz picking up his second off the bench. It is now the fifth team foul, so bonus the rest of the way, but it's 2 free throws because of a shooting foul. As Zone Robinson is able to sink the first, now gives him 7 points here in the ball game. A second free throw is no good for Zone Robinson. Bounce pass with now 92 seconds remaining. Baseline jumper is off the mark. By the way, Landon Cerny has it. Checked in the last dead ball. Last second pass to Carter Hansen as he didn't want to get called for a travel, and a good pass there. And quickly opposite way, it's going to be stolen away by Trey Hansen as he just went underneath the hoop and just ripped it right out of the hands of Gerard Robinson. To Cerny, to Carter Hansen. He'll shoot the deep three, leaves it short. Vermillion's up by 10, 21-11. Bounce pass stolen away once again by Trey Hansen as he has his 4th steal, but gives it right back to Garrett Merkley this time, and quickly the opposite way off the glass and good for 2 is Fairbanks. He has 4 points. 21-13. Well, after it was a slow moving, a lot of whistles. Now his first 5 minutes is starting to pick up pace here in the final 3. As Vermillion, 4 seconds separate the shot clock from game clock. It's with Carter Hansen. And now a reach around by Reed Saylor. Cole, what was he? It's bonus. you also pick up a second personal.
Even if it's not bonus and even if it's your first personal, you're 45 feet from the hoop with no chance of stealing it. It just doesn't. I'm sorry I took it out on you. Yeah, I saw your face. You're like, what in the world?
I agreed with you.
Yeah, it's just... baffles me. It doesn't make any sense.
And now he comes out of the game, and Jake Odkin gives him that same look. Like, what are we doing? A bad one to give. Carter Hansen, in the end, hits both free throws as well, giving him 8 points for the quarter. 23-13. Fairbanks, the drive, and Cole Tweeten is going to commit the foul, shooting foul, so Tweeten will pick up his first personal, the 4th team foul. And Cole Ashton Fairbanks has certainly been a bright spot off the bench so far. For the Huskies, he already has 4 points.
Yeah, and a lot of it's been inside. I mean, he's been trying to push the pace, trying to push the glass, and just trying to give EPJ any offensive chance. First free throw in the game, by the way, for EPJ right here. Vermillion on the other end, they are 7 for 10.
Wow. 1 of 2, Fairbanks goes. He has 5 points off the bench. Vermillion will have it for the last second shot, 23-14. Put up the jumper. This one is good for Carter Hansen. And with that, he'll have 10 for the quarter. Last second shot is off the mark. And Vermillion leads it 25-14 as we head to the second quarter. We're back in just a moment here on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live.
Birds like tanagers are great at flying out of the way to miss your car. Deer and other drivers are not. If you're in any kind of accident, bring your vehicle to Blaine's Body Shop in Vermillion. We repair your vehicle to pre-accident condition and handle the entire process from start to finish, including an accurate estimate and dealing with the insurance adjuster. So good luck to the tanagers, and if you're in an accident, bring your vehicle to
Blaine's Body Shop. Blaine's Body Shop. Automotive collision repair.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. We're a quarter of the way to 100, if you will. 25-14. Vermillion leads it by 11. Cole, very choppy first quarter there, but in the end, Vermillion kind of pulls away and so far in a comfortable spot.
Yeah, they're led again. Carter Hansen, 10 points. A couple others with 7 and 6. It just seems like everything Vermillion's doing offensively, they seem to get it to go. And like you said, a lot of choppiness, lots of fouls, lots of out of bounds, lots of random double dribbles and travels. Yeah, choppy is probably the best word you can use right now.
And Vermillion has got it done as well without their leading scorer. Trey Hansen did not score. Now he comes in this game averaging at 19 points.
He does have 4 steals and 2 assists, though, so he has been playing a big part on both ends of the floor for the Tanagers.
Rorick was knocked down there, has to finally get back up, try to force a pass, Zoran Robinson did, and it's turned over. We'll see if this one doesn't pick up the pace a little bit more, as both teams want to run. Both teams can get a lot of points up. It's just getting a lot of whistles so far, and certainly silly fouls that we saw at one point there in the quarter against the Huskies, as they did surrender the bonus to Vermillion in that first quarter. You don't necessarily see that even with this new bonus rule. And if it would have been old bonus rule too, by the way, we still would have seen bonus for Vermillion, which for maybe Elk Point Jefferson in the end worked out. Quickly, after an air ball, 3-pointer for Carter Hansen. This one's off the mark. Rebounding as both teams just kind of pushing each other out of the way. And a pass stolen away by Hansen. Now 5 for him. Skogsberg went quickly opposite way, backed one defender down, but missed his shot. Zoran Robinson there with the offensive board. He has 9 points for the ball game. 27-14, 6:23, second quarter. And now a reach-in foul that will go against the Vermillion Tanagers. They kind of had Carson Timmons boxed around. And Carter Hansen will pick up the first personal in the first team foul.
And for EPJ, I mean, that's exactly the position they want to be in against that 2-2-1 zone press. Get somebody to the middle of the floor, make them all surround you. Sometimes they foul you, other times you can pass it off for a 3-on-2 break.
27-14 at the free throw line. Fournier, who has not featured much in that first quarter. He spent a lot of time on the bench. Get it down to him once again. His size just dominates inside. And for that, he only has 4 points in the basketball game. We'll see if he doesn't spend some more time on the hardwood, as he wasn't really in foul trouble. Only picked up 1 in that quarter as well. So it wasn't like there was something specific that got him in trouble. 3-pointer for Trey Hansen, his first points of the ball game. But he makes it rain, 30-16, 14-point lead for the Vermillion Tanagers. And finally, breaking the press are the Huskies. And this one, a turnover. No, it will stay with the Huskies, as they say wasn't last touched by EPJ. I thought that was on Caden Moore, but it will stay off of zone. Robinson Y so ties his left shoe there quickly. They're ready to go once again. Watching their replay. Certainly a correct call there by the officials. 14-point lead for the Vermillion Tanagers, as EPJ has it at the top of the key. They want to get it down to Evan once again, but Vermillion is just completely trying to take him away with double and sometimes even a triple team. Kick back out. Quick jumper. This one is off the mark, and Trey Hansen jumped up high to get the rebound, making sure they boxed out Evan. Carter Hansen just puts up the little floater off the glass, and good for 2. When your dad is a former D1 basketball player, or technically D2 at that time, it certainly runs in the family, if you will. 32-16, Vermillion has doubled up the Huskies once again, but this time by even more. They work it inside the lane, and a wide open bucket missed, and the Huskies, instead of quickly going right back up with it, go back out. 6-7 from downtown is good, as Evan now has 7 points, and a timeout from head coach Jay Drake, as he wants to reset with his team. Of course, Jay is all about the possessions and making sure you win every possession and do not trade buckets with the basketball team. Don't forget the Vermillion Baseball Association Chili and Wild Game Feed fundraiser comes up on Sunday, February 4th from 3 to 8 at the Charcoal Lounge in Vermillion. It's $20 for tickets, which does include 2 drink tickets, fresh walleye and chislic from 4 to 6. Kids meals will also be available for $5. Don't worry, Cole, I'll have you covered for that. And tickets can be purchased at the door the day of the event. Again, that's coming up on Sunday, February 4th from 3 to 8. No comment there?
You're paying for me either way, so doesn't matter for me.
Cole?
Yeah.
How much should the Vermillion fans be worried about MVP coming up in Friday hoops for the Vermillion girls?
They're a scary good team. I mean, you talk about Emily Fox, SDSU commit. They've been scouting her since she was in 7th grade. Same recruiting class, obviously, as Katie Vasika of T. A couple others in that Sioux Falls area, and then also, Reagan Russ inside has not committed, just a junior yet, but has plenty of D1 offers to go her way. Plus, the supporting cast should be a pretty entertaining game inside the Corn Palace. The world's only Corn Palace.
That is correct, where you can get some good popcorn balls as well. I don't think Cole and I will be partaking in those, though. Well, you might, Cole.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, you like popcorn. I'm just saying the comment because I don't like popcorn.
There's a very big difference between popcorn and popcorn balls.
Okay. Whether it comes in ball form or normal form, I'm not going to eat it.
Yeah, you will.
I will not.
Yeah, you will.
I will not. Me and popcorn stay away from each other, and I don't mind that whatsoever. 32-19, 4:08 before halftime. We'll also catch up with John Brooks and a player for the Vermillion girls coming up at halftime, as EPJ has it in the front court, trying to chip away at this Vermillion lead. Vermillion has only scored 7 so far here in this quarter. A lot quicker moving, if you will, but not as much scoring for either team. deep three. This one is good as back-to-back threes now for the Outpoint Jefferson Huskies. Garrett Merkley hits his first from downtown. And all of a sudden, it's a 10-point lead for Vermillion. Bryson Skogsberg will now shoot from deep. He misses it. Evan Fournier with the easy rebound. Quickly over the corner, Timmons thought about shooting the three. To Fournier, he leaves it short, but Zoe Robinson commits the foul. So we'll pick up his first personal, the second team foul, and Evan, the leading scorer for the Huskies with 7, will head to the charity stripe. Again, our next game, though, does not come up on Friday. It will be Thursday in action, as Evan misses the first one right there where Cole is watching a game currently in Sioux Falls. Sioux Falls Christian.
I believe the east side of Sioux Falls, if I remember correctly.
Second free throw is off the mark as Evan gets back his own rebound. Took him 3 different attempts, but eventually he comes away with 2 points. You would be correct. It is on the east side. And I can probably get myself in trouble for saying this, but I'm going to say it anyways. But unfortunately, we have to go there twice. 32-24. This one inside Nicole Tweeten, and that one is good. It is not the most broadcast-friendly facility. That's all I'm going to say. 34-24, but I will say, very nice host, Sioux Falls Christian. Just don't like sitting in a weight room. Corner 3 is good from Garrett Merkley. He has 8. And Cole, before you say, yes, we are sitting in a weight room now, but this is a little bit different than what we see at Sioux Falls Christian. At least here, I don't have to battle a weight rack.
I was going to say, this is not the only weight room we sit in. Between this, Sioux Falls Christian, Parker, I think there's one more.
Again, Parker, at least I can set a table up for me, and true. Their weight room isn't necessarily huge, just don't step on the internet cord, which we have a problem with that.
3 times.
Which seems so obvious, but deep 3 from Trey Hansen. Now, Cole, law of averages is starting to play out, and all of a sudden, EPJ is right back in this ball game. Another quick travel by Evan Fournier, and it's because he spins around is the reason why they're calling that, even though the Husky fans don't agree.
We even had an EPJ girls player stand up and boo. I don't think that's allowed.
Now, I will say this much. These two fan bases do not get along either. There usually has to be a few 80s in attendance to make sure everyone stays within their spots. Trey Hansen drives in. The under and up is good and draws the foul. The old-fashioned three-point play upcoming. And for Trey Hansen, after not scoring in that first quarter, has 5 points in this second. And it's going to be called a foul on Evan, picking up his second personal and the third team foul now. And it's off the mark. So Vermillion will just hold a 9-point lead after the missed free throw from Trey Hansen, and no shot as there was a foul called before. This one will go against Cole Tweeten. Cole Tweeten picking up his second personal, and the team third. Quick inbound to Timmons. They go all the way around the perimeter over to the corner. Merkley, they leaves this one short. Remember, Merkley put up 24 in that victory in the region that ended Vermillion's season last year. A lot of them from downtown as he had a very successful night in the Husky Den. And they want to go to Tweeten underneath, and they call a whistle before, and that's just Tweeten pushing off the guy. And Cole, picking up now his third personal, is going to have to come out of the basketball game. And it's the team fourth as well, so next foul Vermillion gives up is bonus. 36-27. Under 90 seconds remaining here in this first half. Fournier inside to go to Fairbanks, and as Fairbanks makes his move, travel called. Starting to see a lot of whistles. Once again, this was a quick moving second quarter, and all of a sudden it has come to a snail's pace. Warrig inbounds it to Trey Hansen. Pass over to Skogsberg to Rohrig they go. Rohrig hands off to Carter Hansen, pump fakes. Drives down to the block, to the top they go. Straightaway 3 for Robinson and gets it to go. Touches every single part of the iron before it falls through. He now has 12 in the ball game, and Vermillion is back up by that mark. With under a minute left to go and a quick turnover. Rohrig travels as he dished back out. He can't believe it. Mom and Dad sit still there in the stands. And a quick substitution as Landon Johnson, the junior forward, will check into the ball game. 39-27, under a minute remaining here in the ball game. EPJ gets in the front court, double team coming, pass headed towards the scorer's table. Headed towards a third stream here. We have 3 streams once again this evening. Starting to see that a lot more here at the DAC-12. Seems like everyone's got streaming services nowadays, which is a perfect way to watch the games at home, and we appreciate you tuning in to wherever you may be at. And a ball that will go out of bounds, and it will stay with the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies. The shot clock is also turned off, so EPJ won't. Trailing by 12. Well, you know what I'm going to say next, Cole. Trying to inbound, finally get it in, and a shot blocked away by Carter Hansen, and he somehow picked up a foul there, picking up his second personal, and it'll be 2 free throws.
Falls on Rohrig, his second.
Oh, they call on Rohrig instead. Thank you, Cole.
Which makes a little bit more sense. Would have been just about egregious if that was on Hansen.
I thought so too, and I was like, how does that? But that now makes sense. Thank you for correcting me.
That's what I'm here for.
Cole, do you got any food? I'm hungry.
I do not, but I am also.
Second free throw. This one is good. It's Caden Moore. We don't have Spencer Bewley here. Usually he's got snacks.
He's got a bag full of snacks.
Dang it. Where is that kid at? Is he still mourning Dallas' loss?
I don't think so. I bet he's over it by now. He probably knew going in that they were going to lose.
I think people thought I'd be mourning the Eagles' loss too, as I always say. In the end, I have no skin in the game. I'm sad they lost, don't get me wrong, but I don't own the franchise. And a move. That was a whistle called for a foul. Is the 4th team foul. Goes against Fairbanks, his first personal. So Vermillion with inbound with 6.2. And now Trey Hansen got handsy with Garrett Merkley. And Trey Hansen picks up his second personal. It is an offensive foul, so no bonus shots upcoming. So Huskies will now get it for the last opportunity here. Driving all the way in. Shot up is good. Right before the buzzer for Caden Moore. As the senior gets his first points. Before halftime, 39-31. EPJ closes the gap by 3, but still trail. Cole, very, very inconsistent, if you will, in that second quarter, and just a lot of whistles there as we move into halftime.
Yeah, nobody could really get anything, like you said, consistently going offensively. It's just defensively, there's a lot of fouls. I mean, they were called. You might think that they're blowing a lot of whistles. Well, there was a lot of fouls. They were justified fouls, and it's just again, not consistent basketball, almost like what we saw to start off the game.
39-31 as we head to halftime. Vermillion leads it by 8. We're back here with our Vermillion girls basketball post-game interviews, including Mackenzie Richardson, is on the way next, along with John Brooks. That's on the way here on Live Ticket and Vermillion Tanagers Live.
Jensen Kennels is your safe place to take your dog while you're away. They have over 7,000 square feet of indoor run space and outdoor play yards. They pride themselves in providing enrichment both mentally and physically for all types of dogs. And speaking of size, Jensen Kennels can host any size of dog, from the smallest Boston Terrier to the largest Great Dane. To find out the full services Jensen Kennels offers, check out their website and Facebook pages. Next time you need your dog to stay in a safe, fun environment, make it Jensen's Kennels.
Do you have a pest problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs. There's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. 39-31 here at halftime. The Vermillion boys have an 8-point lead as we look back at the girls' game. Mackenzie Richardson joins us here at halftime. Mackenzie, you look at this game. First off, the team get back out there on the court after it spent so much time away from basketball because of all the weather. How nice was it to get back out there against Elk Point Jefferson?
It was good to officially get back on the court, and to be against Elk Point was nice because I knew it would be a good game. Well,
it was certainly a good game. It was battled throughout, a battle-tested EPJ team that we knew was going to come in here. But the girls hang it tough, and as they kind of pull a weight there in the third quarter, what was the halftime speech from head coach John Brooks to really make things happen there in the second half?
He just told us to keep doing what we were doing, keep shutting down their threes, and finish it off strong.
Of course, Mackenzie, you're not a part of the starting five, but you come off the bench as a key role player. What has been your main role so far this season, and how have you enjoyed it getting your time out there when it comes to varsity action?
Just to keep putting the points on the scoreboard and working as a team.
Well, you certainly have done that so far this season. It's been exciting to watch. You guys come away with a victory, a 20-point victory. Bitter rivals with the Huskies. How nice was it to win this one?
It was very nice, and especially with the good crowd out tonight, it really helped.
Well, 39-31 here at halftime. Mackenzie, before you go, you get ready for some travel as you guys kind of become road warriors over the next few weeks. Are you excited to go on the road? Now, help me out here. Would you rather go on the road, or do you really rather be playing at home? What's your thoughts on it?
As much as I do like going on the road, I think staying here at home is more enjoyable because we get more people out in the crowd to support us.
But you get out of school early if it's a far enough road trip.
Yeah, true. I still think at home.
What about Saturday basketball? Are you a fan of that, or would you rather skip on Saturday basketball games? Because you don't get out of school, it's just, you lose a Saturday.
Yeah. I enjoy the Saturday basketball games, getting to be out there with the team.
Well, hey, keep it up. We'll see you throughout the rest of this season, and we'll keep finding wins, all right?
All right.
Thank you. There she is, Mackenzie Richardson here at halftime. We're going to step aside. More basketball, including head coach John Brooks, coming up on the way next here on Live Ticket TV.
If you are self-motivated, accountable, and eager to learn new skills, we'd love to talk to you about a rock star career. Masaba in Vermillion is hiring full and part-time manufacturing positions for the rock industry. Masaba provides comprehensive training in a clean, safe, and state-of-the-art facility. Masaba offers competitive wages, a fun and interesting work environment and culture. Join our team of rock stars. Visit masabainc.com to learn more.
Producers, now's a great time to get your seed meters inspected so you're ready for spring planting. Right now, Grossenberg Implement, your John Deere dealer with 9 locations in South Dakota, Nebraska, and Wyoming, is offering $25 labor per row all month long. Contact one of Grossenberg Implement's service managers and schedule your planter seed meter inspection so it's ready for spring. Grossenberg Implement, where service is the other half of a great product. Go to grossenberg.com for details.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need. to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
For healthier crops and stronger yields, count on Nutrien Ag Solutions. By partnering with the leader in plant nutrition, you'll have access to innovative products and unmatched service that deliver impact and efficiency to every acre. Healthier crops, happier growers. Lead the field this season and beyond. Find your local crop consultant at nutrienagsolutions.com.
Whether you're pregnant or planning ahead, you and your baby deserve a healthy start. We offer a wide range of services such as advocacy, health screenings and education, care coordination and car seat safety, participant empowerment, referral services, and fatherhood support. To learn more about Great Plains Healthy Start, visit greatplainstravelhealth.org or call one of our 5 service areas today. Brought to you by Great Plains Healthy Start, so that the people may live.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. 39-31 here at halftime. Boys, second half coming up here in just a little bit. But right now, let's get to our post-game conversation with head coach John Brooks on the girls' side. Coach Brooks, do you like the NFL rules when it comes to playing the Green Bay Packers in the divisional round, or what's your thoughts on playing the lowest seed? Does it work out for the 49ers in the end?
I think it does. It's kind of funny. I got some friends that are everybody was trying to tell me that the Niners were not going to make it through the NFC this year because they were going to have to go through the Eagles and the Cowboys, and now the funny is they're both out. So all those friends that were telling me that, they can go ahead and put an end to their season, and we'll just play the Packers. Yeah, certainly. I'll definitely say as an Eagles fan, it was nothing but harping on the Cowboys after that disastrous loss for them. But karma, well, you know what they say about it. Coach Brooks, you grinded this one out. I mean, again, it seemed like at points EPJ just didn't want to go away, especially they come out firing in that second quarter. Physical game, grinded out. How proud of your team of getting this one done tonight? Yeah, really happy for our girls to get this one done. I think it just to get the week started. We got a really tough week this week, and just to get it started off on a big good foot was something we really needed to do. And Elk Point went on that run. They're early in the first half, and they kind of hit us in the mouth there. But really happy with the way our girls responded, and just a great second half defensively. I know we held them to 12 points in the second half. We were able to get some transition buckets, and like you said, just kind of grinded it out. Just had good possession after good possession, and were able to finally stretch the lead. Did you think there was a lot of, if you will, rust, or maybe we could say ice with your girls' team after such a long layover, or what was your takeaway as a coach? Yeah, I thought that we were pretty sharp really for most of the game. We went through a little stretch during the first half where we got up and then we turned the ball over a little bit too much, but for the most part, we were really happy with our effort and the way we executed offensively. It wasn't it's one of those games where it wasn't anything super flashy, but we were just trying to take advantage of some mismatches we thought we had on the offensive end and kind of playing through those girls. And overall, I thought the girls executed well. Well, certainly get that pull away there in the second half as you start to extend the lead. What was it in that third quarter that you were able to lock them down defensively? Yeah, we kind of talked after the game. We had 4 girls. Taylor had 9, but with her, we would have had 4 girls in double figures, so 4 kids right around that. And the points and the rebounds and all those things are the stats and things that people look at. But I thought Brooklyn Voss on number 32, Brewer, was huge for us tonight. We wanted to give her no open looks from the three-point line. She's a really good shooter, and Brooklyn did a great job of helping, recovering, tipping shots, contesting shots, and held her to 0. And then Brooke as well, and the other Brewer sister, held her to 6. So holding those 2 kids to 6 points was key for us defensively, and I think that that just kind of helped everything else go. You talk about kind of them shutting it down defensively, but offensively, Janaea Cleveland hasn't necessarily been scoring a whole lot of points so far this season, and we've talked about that at points. It seems like she could go off at any moment. She does tonight. How nice was that to see for Janaea? She just works so hard at her game, and she's always ready. That's the thing I like about her. She competes, and she's always ready, and really she's been one of our more consistent three-point shooters this year. She's really did a nice job knocking down shots from the outside. And if we can get her going, when we get her going, we can. We're really balanced offensively then. So hopefully she can keep it going for us, and we keep putting 4 kids around that double-figure mark. We're gonna be in a good spot.
Quick little update as Evan now picks up his 3rd personal foul as we're back underway here for varsity. Catching up with head coach John Brooks of the Vermillion girls as they get a 56-36 victory over EPJ. Bryson Skogsberg hits a big 3. Vermillion now up by double digits once again. We are kind of talked about with Cole Larsh, the alum from Mount Vernon Plankinton himself, about what this MVP girls team has coming up. I know Cole's excited to play there in the Corn Palace and see his alma mater, but you see it as well. Really good MVP team coming up on Friday. What should we expect?
One of the fastest teams in the state. They're very quick. They transition very well. They get up and down the floor. And you can do that when you have Emily Fox running the point. And, her and Katie Vasika are probably 2 of the best players in the state, 2 of the best point guards, both going to SSU next year. She's a special talent. I still remember her as a 7th grader. I thought she's probably one of the better 7th graders I've ever seen play. And she just continued to grow and get better. So anytime you're going against a kid like that, it's going to make it very difficult. And on a big court, she's going to have a lot of space. So we're going to have 2 good days of practice to get ready for them and hopefully find a way to control her a little bit, and if we can do that, we're hoping to have a chance.
Finally, before I let you go, for the fans out there that may be wondering, this isn't a part of the Hanson Classic anymore. This is just a makeup game. So why are we playing in the Corn Palace?
Yeah, it kind of went back and forth, and we're number one, dates. Trying to find a date now with all the rescheduled games, and everybody else is trying to fit games in. That was tough. So the Corn Palace was open, and I think just for the girls, to be able to go play there, they were looking forward to playing there. We talked about playing either here or playing out Mount Vernon, but nobody really wants to go on the road, and Mount Vernon's only, 15, 20 miles from Mitchell, so it makes no sense for them to drive all the way to Vermillion. So, I think there's some other games being played after us. I think Arlington and Ethan and maybe another one. So hopefully get a nice atmosphere there, and, our girls get to play in the Corn Palace again, which I know they're excited about.
Hey, let's get ready and go get MVP on Friday, all right?
All right, thanks, Steve.
There he is, head coach John Brooks here as he gives us the lowdown on what we should expect from, of course, the Titans coming up. Now, quickly into action here, we have seen Vermillion hit back-to-back 3s. Oh, my goodness. And then, wow, I'm kind of surprised that was not a technical there. 45-31. Vermillion hits back-to-back 3s to start this 3rd quarter. A timeout from Jake Odkin. And then what we just saw, missed bucket by Reed Saylor, rebounded by Carter Hansen, and then Reed just swung his arm out and basically took off the head there of Carter Hansen, and now a quick whistle, a foul against Bryson Skogsberg as he just kind of jumped like a rabbit there trying to make a pass. He claims a foul. Cole, I just interviewed John Brooks there, and I don't think really missed a whole lot because of just how slow to start this 3rd quarter we're already going.
No, you missed 2 3-pointers and 2 fouls, and the rest of it, that's about it. I mean, we played a minute and a half right there, and we saw 6 points and probably about 17 whistles blown.
Fairbanks, once again, he has been the key role player, it seems like, off the bench for the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies. He scores, now has 7 in the ball game. Vermillion is up by 12. Trey Hansen drives in, and a foul called as he makes his move along the baseline. And Cole, it's just been no fault by the officials here. It's been evenly called throughout the entire game for both teams. Maybe one coach or the other would say it doesn't seem fair to them, but still, this one's just being called very tight tonight.
Yeah, it is. It's not really that it's being called that tight. It's just both teams are committing so many fouls. You might look at some as like, oh, that was tic-tac, or oh, that was tic-tac, but we basically just had a fist thrown at half court, and there's a foul call. So there's been a lot, and a lot of people flopping, and both crowds are upset, and it's a very tough game for the officials to try and control, and they're trying their best, and they're calling about anything they can.
Skogsberg hits his 2nd 3 of this 3rd quarter, now giving him 12 points. Cole, I thought you made a very good point here, and both teams have done it. Both these teams have seen contact and have gone to the ground quickly. You call it flopping, you're exactly right. And both teams have done it. And when the foul doesn't go their way, the fans get all jittery back and forth. And then we see even once again, Evan Fournier kind of got knocked to the ground there, which, well, Cole, we discussed at one point during a break here that I don't think anyone's going to really knock over Evan for Vermillion. They're not the beefiest of boys, if you will.
Especially not probably the second shortest guy out there on the floor right now in Bryson Skogsberg. Now, he's a strong kid, but he could not have pushed Fournier that hard to make him to stumble down.
He's not quite his brother's size, if you will.
Not quite.
Both free throws missed. Offensive rebound, though, for the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies. Ball was popped loose, but the Huskies get it back.
EPJ now just 3 for 8 from the line in the game. Vermillion 7 for 11.
Another missed bucket, and Evan Fournier goes in, count the bucket, and Skogsberg picks up now his third personal. Evan with now 11 points in the ball game, first Husky to hit double figures. And now Cole Tweeten is going to come into the ball game, as Skogsberg will take a spot on the bench.
Again, we talk about that flopping now. Usually, with all that contact underneath and Skogsberg being shorter, you commonly see that an offensive foul, but the way that both teams have been falling down to any sort of little contact, it's hard for the officials to know what was actual contact and what wasn't.
A missed free throw, chucked off the back of Rurig. The ball stayed in bounds. Everyone kind of thought it went out of bounds. And in the end, EPJ gets 2 points from it with everyone just kind of standing around. Trailing by 13, now Cole Tweeten takes the far jumper. This one is off the mark. And here comes Evan quickly the opposite way. They're trying to close down his space. Kick back out, the drive in. Garrett Merkley finishes it with the nice left hand. He's got 10 points. And now a quick timeout from head coach Jay Drake. We'll step aside and take a timeout with them. We're back in just a moment here on Live Ticket TV.
Farmers know crop insurance is essential for managing risk. It's also valuable for maximizing revenue. The crop insurance officers at Farm Credit Services of America have proprietary tools and expertise to deliver the personalized crop and revenue protection you need for the peace of mind you want. Nobody delivers crop insurance like this. Discover the difference by calling 800-884-FARM. Agriculture works here.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. Cool, did you get your workout in today?
Yeah, if you count running around like a chicken with my head cut off for about half the day, sleeping through one of my classes, then sure.
Careful, your mom's listening.
No, she's not.
Oh, she's not?
Jack's playing.
Oh, that's right, we're good. Perfect. You skipped a class, Cole?
Not intentionally.
Cole!
I set the wrong alarm.
Cole, how do you set the wrong alarm? Wake up at like 7 o'clock every day.
No, I haven't done that since high school, and I never want to go back.
6 straight points for the Huskies, and now it's a 9-point lead for Vermillion. 50-41. And now a whistle called, as there's a total of 7 fouls called here in this third quarter. Foul will go against Caden Moore. His first. Team fourth. I think the announcer's table, they said, yeah, fifth. Rory comes out quickly. Cerny checks back in.
You want to talk about fouls. 14 team fouls combined for the game for EPJ, now 13 for Vermillion.
Very consistent. Kick out, Cerny wide open three-pointer. This one is off the mark. Cole Tweeten committed a rebounding foul. Quickly the opposite way, and now a whistle called. Trey Hansen can't believe that he gets a foul called on him and has a large reaction. Got to be careful of that as well. They're actually called against Carter, his brother. So Carter picks up now his third. And again, the 4th team foul. So either team gives up one more foul, it's bonus. 3:51 here in the third. 50-41. Merkley has it, kicks back out to Fairbanks. Timmons over to the corner. Fournier has it for the Huskies, working it underneath. Turnaround jumper. This one is off the mark. So Vermillion leading it by 9. Points have pulled away in this game, but every single time the Huskies fight right back into it, but really haven't closed the gap by more than 7 here in this quarter. 3-pointer is off the mark. Easy rebound for Carter Hansen. So he still controls at the block, tries to split by the double team, and a reach and foul called. We'll have 2 free throws upcoming, as that's the 5th, and it gives bonus to the Vermillion Tanagers.
Heath, I have a question for you.
Give it to me.
Remember when the JV game ended early and we started the girls varsity game ahead of schedule?
Uh-huh.
Them were the good old days.
First free throw missed. Choppiest game for the Vermillion boys that we have seen all season long. And think about this, Cole. I mean, where did I say to start the second quarter? A quarter of the way through the century, or to the century mark for Vermillion, they have scored just 26 since then. Missed shot inside, rebound by Evan Fournier, as he now has 13. He's picked up 3 personal fouls.
Double-double for him, 13 points, 10 rebounds, including 7 offensive rebounds.
Do you want to know how often he averages a double-double so far this season?
Every game.
I have no clue. Jake Odkin does not keep stats. They keep stats, but they will not tell their players, as he focuses on a team game, not an individual game. Friendly fire. Merkley almost took out Gerard there. Reach in foul that will go against Merkley. The only way this foul trouble, by the way, plays in favor for EPJ is just they spread their bench a whole lot more than what Vermillion does. And Vermillion now is missing free throws as Robinson misses that one.
8 for 14. Again, they started 7 for 10 in the first quarter.
Second free throw is good for Robertson. He now has 13 points in the ball game. 9-point lead, 52-43, 2:35 third quarter. Drive in, kick out, bounce pass straight to Trey Hansen. Opposite way, left it short, back up and good. Trey Hansen has 7 steals on the night. Robinson, nice job following that up as he has 15 points. Bounce pass to Merkley. He almost wasn't ready for it over to Timmons. Double team was drawn there, and Huskies don't take advantage of it. And now a pass, Merkley steals it away nicely. Vermillion not getting back defensively. I'm surprised we're not going to see a timeout from head coach Jay Drake here. 3-pointer, Merkley is off the mark. Basketball being knocked around, picked up by Timmons, out to Fairbanks. Fairbanks drives in and scores. Well, I don't know why he doesn't start. He's got 11 off the bench. 54-45. What do you have him for?
10.
Uh-oh.
I probably missed a free throw or something.
Jumper by Robinson is good. He's got 17 in the ball game. 56-45. I must say, I'm surprised that Jay Drake did not call timeout here in this third quarter. He is screaming though. I can hear Jay from over here. And Jay and I are in opposite corners at the moment.
Not quite.
Not quite, yeah.
But pretty close.
Opposite side of the sideline, let's call it. Jumper good for Trey Hansen. Trey Hansen now 7 points in this quarter, 12 for the ball game. And cool, just like that, in the end, they're back up by 13.
I'm not sure how, but yeah, you're right.
Fairbanks misses the jumper.
Actually, after that last shot, I do have a good idea how. EPJ has gone cold on the offensive end.
They certainly have. And we haven't seen as many whistles all of a sudden. As both teams have given basically the bonus and said, all right, enough is enough.
Well, you can tell because both teams have subs waiting. I think that's the first time this game that's ever happened.
Cole Tweeten offensive board. Lost it, though. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get to those subs. I think we might just play this quarter out. 58-45. I think this is the longest point of the game that we've had a running clock. Oh, I blame you.
What? You said it.
I blame you. Robinson picks up his second personal. Bonus, nonetheless. And Merkley will be shooting 2. Again, where he has 10 points here in the ball game. First free throw is good. Give him 11, 58-46. 18.7. Now we're starting to see guys that don't get a whole lot of playing time out there for the Huskies. Skillingsburg finally checks back in. He spent a lot of this quarter on the bench after he picked up 2 quick. He's got 3 for the ball game. Now Vermillion does not have anyone who is into 4. Second free throw, this one is good as well, as Merkley will now come out of the ball game. He has 12 points. 58-47. Vermillion will hold for a last second shot here. As Trey Hansen will simply bring it into the front court. Make his move. And foul called before the shot. But we see bonus. 7 total fouls here in this quarter against EPJ. It's also the 3rd that will go against Gerard.
With that missed free throw, Vermillion now 9 for 15.
Skoggsburg quickly out of the ball game as well, as now Vermillion is dipping deeper into their bench as Hunter Morris, the sophomore guard, has come on. Second free throw missed as well from Trey Hansen. EPJ shot was blocked, and then friendly fire as 2 guys tried to get the rebound and ran into each other. 58-47. In the end, Vermillion does extend what was an 8-point lead, now up to an 11-point lead. We head to the 4th quarter. We're back here in 60 seconds on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live.
What's your big picture?
To keep the farm in the family.
To pay off the loan.
To start my own operation.
To drive Grandpa's combine. Right, Grandpa?
If owning a successful operation is in your big picture, First Bank & Trust has ag experts to help you plan for the future.
To diversify.
To teach her how to drive a combine.
Find out how First Bank & Trust makes managing your farm easier at bankeasy.com.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. 58-47 as we're back underway to start this 4th quarter. Vermillion Tanagers with the 11-point lead. And a quick foul that will go against EPJ, as that will be their first, and it took only 11 seconds. You have anything you want to say over there, Cole? First free throw is up and good for Carter Hansen.
Actually, I do. But the viewers would have no idea what I'm talking about.
That was also the second personal against Fairbanks. Carter Hansen makes them both. He has 14 for the ball game. 60-47. I have a feeling as well. Head coach Jay Drake said, all right, let's commit some less fouls here in this 4th quarter. Jake Otkin, I don't think, relayed that same message. Fairbanks has it, top of the key, bounce pass. As they work it into the elbow, kick back out to Fairbanks. Vermillion playing this zone defense to Fairbanks over the corner. Drive in, 4 seconds on the shot clock, all the way back out. Fairbanks is going to have to hoist something up, and it's too strong. It's going to be an offensive board. No, a shot clock violation.
Did not hit the orange.
So Vermillion will have the basketball. 60-47, 7-12. Remaining here in this ball game, unless we see some overtime. Huskies would need to make a big comeback here in this 4th quarter. Skoggsburg driving, puts the floater up, and it's going to be a charge taken, as Bryson will now pick up his 4th personal. Cole, I'd say leave him out there for now.
Yeah.
No, wow. Jay won't. Kind of surprised by that move. 60-47.
That's why we're up here and he's down there.
That is correct. That is correct.
He probably knows more than us two combined.
No doubt about it.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of dragging down the team total here, but...
Well, then you talk about his dad as well and all the experience he's gained from either playing underneath his dad or just coaching alongside him. Of course, we don't see Papa Drake anymore supporting the bench of the Vermillion Tanagers. He has unofficially retired. Let's put it that way. Because I do know he is still, I've been told by Jay, he does still plenty of work. He just may not ride the bench anymore as he spends now time with his grandson, who plays basketball for Del Rapids. 60-47, spin. Wow, how was that not called a travel? Cole?
Mark, write that one. Write that down.
Yeah,
write that down. 9 o'clock p.m. on the dot, January 16th.
Is it really 9 o'clock right on the dot?
It was. It's not anymore.
I believe you. Whistle called underneath the hoop. 2 free throws upcoming. Timmons will be shooting. And the foul called against Cole Tweeten. So Tweeten, who replaced Skogsberg, they both now have 4 personal. Switching bodies around, and I think it's the highlight reel, Cole, that you're watching for Sioux Falls Christian victory.
Well, I was trying to show you the score. There we go. It's gotten well out of hand as compared to when we last saw it.
Sioux Falls Christian girls leading Parkston 51-36. Yes, if you're curious, we do watch multiple games up here.
I'm surprised we don't have a third one on, actually.
You know, and I have my iPad out, or I had my iPad with us, I should say. I just never brought it out. And both free throws are good, and now we're going to get a timeout called. We'll step aside. We're back here in just a moment here on Live Ticket TV.
In times like these, it's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. Gonna drop my next mixtape to this beat here. 60-4. I don't think anyone wants to hear that either.
I don't.
As now, EPJ is bringing on the press here, but they all ran kind of into each other, and Trey Hansen just dribbled it into the front court. So it looks like Vermillion's going to try to take the air out of the ball here, which is not necessarily the name of their game. And we'll see how well it works here for the Vermillion Tanagers. He's inside to Robinson, down to Cole Tweeten, and Tweeten, he can't connect, but a foul called, and he will head to the charity stripe. Now Cole, maybe not too bad for EPJ as Vermillion has struggled.
Yes. I mean, depending on what your definition of, they started again 7 for 10 back in that first quarter. They are now 11 of 18. Make that 11 of 19.
Yeah, it's the second time Vermillion has airballed a free throw. Second free throw is up, and this one is good for Cole Tweet. 3 points for him here in the ballgame. 61-49. 5:45, fourth quarter. Corner 3 for Timmons. This one rattles out. Rebounded by Tweeten. So again, Vermillion kind of slowing things down. Trey Hansen almost lost the dribble. Picks it back up. He will get it across the timeline himself and then make the pass over to Carter. Carter pump fakes. Stepped into the contact there. Back over to Trey. And again, Vermillion just kind of taking the air out of this ball. Last second pass from Trey Hansen to Cole Tweeten. Cole Tweeten, 3 straight points for him. Vermillion now leads it by 14. Cole, do you like this strategy by Jay Drake to just kind of slow things down and see if you can't win this ball game?
Yes, I do. I mean, it's just it's a change that we have not seen at all so far this game. So EPJ is going to be thrown off. Vermillion's going to be a little bit thrown off. But yeah, I mean, slow it down, take the air out of the ball. As long as the clock keeps moving, they can do whatever they want out there, I guess.
It's a 10-second violation. Rorick thought a foul was called on him. Then he was bummed that he didn't get the fast break points. But in the end, Vermillion's going to get the basketball back and just more time to work the clock. And now a foul that's going to be called on Caden Moore, picking up his second personal. It is the 3rd team foul. So another foul again before we see bonus for the Vermillion Tanagers. Also does reset the shot clock, if you will. 63-49, yes.
EPJ with 20 team fouls for the game. Wow. Vermillion with 18. Make that 21 and 18.
Did applaud the officials. We've heard a lot of whistles, but it has been very, very consistent. And now a timeout from head coach Jay Drake. Add another whistle in here, and we're back in just a moment on Live Ticket TV.
Advertising can be a struggle. Where to spend your money? Are you reaching the right audience? If you are looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here is your spot with Live Ticket TV. With over 65 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you find the right market. Plus, you can work with me, Heath, and a portion of all sales made go right back to the school. Get a hold of me today and let's get started in helping build your brand with Live Ticket TV. There's no better organization that gives back to the student athletes than the Booster Club. The Vermillion Booster Club is committed to helping all student athletes grow. Join the Tanager faithful today by becoming a member at GoTanagers.com. While you're there, check out team apparel for your favorite sports team. Like them on Facebook to stay up to date on all the latest information and sports games. Join the Vermillion Boosters today and go Tanagers. Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. Trey Hansen inbounds it to Zone Robinson as we're back after the timeout from head coach Jay Drake there. As a jumper is up and good for Carter Hansen. Carter Hansen now 16 points here in the ball game, 65-49. Bounce pass. Shot up by Moore is off the mark and ball is tipped back. 16-point lead here for the Vermillion Tanagers as Trey Hansen turns it over. Moore is going to travel instead of just making the quick pass to Garrett Merkley. So Vermillion will get the basketball right back after the turnover. 4:11 remaining once again here in the ball game. This one, Colt feels like it's going to be in hand for the Vermillion Tanagers. Maybe not quite that feeling yet, but it's getting even closer and closer as they take the air out of the basketball. Straightaway 3 for Trey Hansen. This one's off the mark. Offensive board, and Carter Hansen goes all the way back and makes the pass to Trey. And Trey thought there was some contact. Garrett Merkley has it. Garrett drives in. Charge taken by Carter Hansen. Merkley commits the foul, and that will now be the 5th team foul. So Vermillion will have bonus. And Merkley will also come out of the basketball game as it's his now 4th personal. Guys kind of calling where they're going to be surrounded at. Calling out the defense yet. 65-49, 3:48, 4th quarter.
A little diamond trap press here again, more common that we've seen this year compared to previous years in both girls and boys basketball is a little bit of a zone press. Again, some are designed to speed it up, some are designed to slow it down and get some half-course traps.
Vermillion breaks it in the end, which is saying something because diamonds are pretty hard to break. Vermillion, last second shot by Zone Robinson. Hits the front of the iron, misses. Whistle called. It'll go against Cole Tweeten, and he will foul out of the basketball game. Cole Tweeten will finish with 5 points tonight. Well, I feel like Atlanta's going to probably interview everybody for a head coaching job. Inbound, this one missed. Evan goes back up with it on the offensive board. Evan Fournier with 13 points. We're looking at ESPN as a ticker came across there.
That's one of the weirdest things that's happened now with the NFL the past couple of years is why are teams announcing when they finished interviewing somebody? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, well, it's a big name.
Well, wouldn't you want to keep it private?
I feel like so.
I don't know. Just one of the many things that doesn't make sense to me about the NFL.
Bunch of bumping around, and finally a whistle is called. Well, whoever goes and takes the Atlanta Falcons job is still going to have a tough go of it. I mean, yeah, kind of. The team is, well, they're not as bad as the Panthers. It is also the NFC South, so you don't have to do a whole lot. Now, I shouldn't say that because the Buccaneers did beat the Eagles, so.
Yeah, but the Eagles were in a free fall.
Well, absolutely.
That was one of the more impressive free falls I've ever seen.
I'll give you that.
From 10-1 to finishing, what, 2-5?
No, 1-7.
Oh.
If you count the postseason.
Yeah. Oh, so I suppose, yeah, that doesn't even, that math did not add up at all. Wow.
Rorick hits his second. There was kind of that meme going out there that they went, 2-7. Ever since Nick Sirianni said, "I don't hear you now," to the Kansas City fans and was walking off the field. 66-53, still a 13-point lead. Carter Hansen. But no matter what, Cole, I can still say at least my team got to playoffs. How'd your team do?
Our starting quarterback blew his Achilles. We brought in 4 bums. One of them had a 2-week stretch where he was the greatest quarterback ever.
He did. He was.
And then the 2 weeks after that, he was the worst quarterback ever.
He did. Yes. It was astronaut Dobbs, and he was the savior to Minnesota. And that the rocket ship quickly came back to Earth, if you will.
There was at one point, the story was that he was being told the plays in his ear by Coach O'Connell before the play started. And there was at one point people were asking if we could bring in a new playbook and just not teach it to Josh Dobbs and just let KOC just say it in his ear every play.
3-pointer from Merkley is off the mark. Robinson with the rebound as he tries to go in the front court. A whistle is called. Robinson will put up a 3 just for the heck of it. And we'll see more free throws coming for Vermillion as they're now up by 15 with under 2 minutes left of the ball game. And now I think we're going to see Merkley fouled out of the basketball game, and then he just drew a technical as well. I believe is what we're getting called here.
Yeah.
So 5 and 6 for him for the ball game. So I think he just kind of made a comment as he came off. I don't know if it was really that bad. I mean, we've definitely seen a whole lot worse of technicals, but. So we'll see a couple free throws here for Zone Robinson on the technical side, and then we'll get to normal free throws. Free throw is up, and another air ball. So Vermillion has now airballed 3 free throws tonight. And on technicals so far, they have just been absolutely awful. Now Bryson Skogsberg is getting a talking to by the official. Carter Hansen makes a 3rd free throw. So Vermillion now 1 of 3. 69-53, second free throw. This one is off the mark. Second time Vermillion, when it comes to technical free throws, has gone 1 of 4.
For the basketball game, they are 16 for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 29.
16 of 29, wow.
I'm not a mathematician expert, but I don't think that's a very high percentage.
69-53. Cole, by the way, this one, I mean, we thought was well in hand, but certainly is now. I mean, yeah. Can we petition out? They just put JV guys out and just let them run around and no whistles for final?
Or just let each team go back and forth and shoot layups without fouling.
Could do that, too. I don't mind that. Free throw is up, and this one is off the mark for Trey Hansen. Second free throw is also off the mark. Vermillion will get the offensive rebound. And now a foul called against EPJ. More free throws upcoming. I believe Evan is now going to foul out of the ball game. Second Husky to foul out of this game. 69-53. 134 remaining.
Evan Fournier finishes the game with 15 points, 12 rebounds. 7 of them offensive rebounds.
First free throw is up and good. Skogsberg spins in his hand, puts it up, and hits them both. 71 points for the Vermillion Tanagers this evening. Huskies aren't going to grab it until they get it past the half-court line, which, of course, doesn't let the clock start. Smart thinking there by Moore. The ball goes out of bounds. It will stay with the Huskies. Quick inbound, quick three-pointer. This one is off the mark. Fight for the rebound. Trey Hansen comes away with it, then has it poked away from him. Oh, no, not the popcorn. And that one just went right through the fingers of Landon Johnson as he tried to grab the basketball game. And that's why we don't eat popcorn before the game. Trey Hansen gets the inbound as he pushes off. EPJ fans. Oh, jeez. Now guys are just tripping over each other. Tripping over the ball. .108 remaining here in this ball game. And now Trey Hansen is going to start cramping up, so he's going to have to get some quick attention.
In his defense, he has been playing for like what feels like 7 hours, but what might actually be pretty close to 2 hours.
Yeah, not quite official on this one tonight, but yeah, this one has been going on for quite some time.
Remember when I said mark down the non-travel call spin move, and that was at 9 o'clock? I think that was still in the fourth quarter.
Timeout called here, and we'll be back here in just a moment on Live Ticket TV.
DeCisse gliding to the basket. Out to 3, Jay Hayes. Good. And Eric Lemon wants to stop the music.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporter of Tanager Athletics and the student athlete. Back inside the birdcage as the Vermillion Tanagers are going to win this doubleheader against the Outpoint Jefferson Huskies here tonight. Boys game 71-53. Earlier in girls action 56-36. We have plenty of basketball to get to for the rest of the week. We will not have a post game coming up. We will just end our broadcast, and we'll get you set for our next one coming up on Thursday as well. As Fairbanks drives in, puts it off the glass, and this one is good for 2. As the Huskies are going to play full court defense. Cole will have your final game statistics coming up here in just a moment. As the ball, I believe, went across the timeline. It should have been over and back. But nonetheless, Huskies try to collapse down the space. Robinson has it. Trying to make his move. Pass over to Bryson Skogsberg. Now pass stolen away by Johnson, and he drives in. puts off the glass and good for two. 71-57. Rohrig gets in the front court, and Vermillion can hold for the last second. No, Rohrig is going to travel, and it will give it right back to EPJ. 71-57, final 17 seconds here of the basketball game. Reed Saylor makes his move, pull-up jumper. This one is off the mark, rebounded by Robinson. Robinson will get it across the timeline, and that will do it. Vermillion will get the 14-point victory over EPJ tonight, as Vermillion continues their impressive streak so far. Now 7-1 overall, as they beat EPJ 71-57. Elk Point Jefferson drops to 4-7 overall. Next game coming up for the Vermillion Tanagers will be Thursday. It's Vermillion boys action only, as that game will be broadcast right here on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live. Again, we'll have all the coverage, just that single game only of varsity action coming up on Thursday. But for the girls only, coming up on Friday and Saturday, we'll have all the coverage of all those games right here on Vermillion Tanagers Live and Live Ticket TV. Once again, no post-game show here, as we're going to wrap it up from inside the birdcage as Cole takes a look and tallies up the final numbers. Cole, what do we see for this game that was, again, as we mentioned, very choppy, but in the end, Vermillion still puts up 71 points. They get a nice win as well. What do you have for us when it comes to the final numbers tonight for both Oak Point Jefferson and for the Vermillion Tanagers?
There we go, as I'm just finally getting the final tallies. We'll start first for the Elk Point Jefferson Huskies. They scored 57 points. They were led in scoring by Evan Forney. He finished with 15 points, again 12 rebounds. He fouled out in the contest. Then we'll go down the roster numerically. Garrett Merkley, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. Timmons, 2 points, 2 rebounds, and a steal. Grayson Gerard with 2 rebounds. Caden Moore, 6 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals. Reed Saylor, 7 points and a steal. Ashton Fairbanks, 12 points, 2 rebounds, a steal. And Fornia, 15 and 12. Landon Johnson with 2 points and a steal there at the end. EPJ, 14 in the first, 17 in the second, 16 in the third, 10 in the fourth for their total of 57 points. They shot 7 of 12 from the free throw line, and they committed 28 team fouls in the contest. They fall to 4-7. For Vermillion, again, an impressive 71 points for them. They were led in scoring by Carter Hansen, who finished with 19. Then we'll go down the roster numerically. Landon Cerny had a rebound and an assist. Rohrig, 3 points, 2 boards, an assist, and a steal. Bryson Skogsberg, 14 points, 2 rebounds. Did not play much in the second half, limited time, I should say, due to foul trouble. Zone Robinson, 17 points for him, 5 rebounds, and a steal. Carter Hansen, 19 points, 4 boards, 3 assists, a steal, and a block. Trey Hansen, 12 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 7 steals for Trey Hansen in the game. And Cole Tweeten, again, 5 points and 4 rebounds. Vermillion shot 18 of 33 from the free throw line. They scored 25 in the first, 14 in the second, 19 in the third, 13 in the fourth for their total of 71 points. They committed 18 team fouls. They moved to 7-1 on the season.
And that will do it for us right here on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live, as that wraps up our post-game coverage. As again, Vermillion gets the victory on girls' side, 56-36, and on the boys' side, 71-57. Our next game comes up on Thursday evening in Sioux Falls Christian. Cole Larson and I will have all the coverage from Sioux Falls. Until then, have yourself a wonderful rest of your evening.